Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you are all doing well. And I already see someone in the chat. I'm seeing Coachila and also, yeah, just Coachila. Coachila, nice to see you here. You're one of the first arrivals for the show today, and it is good. Now, today it's like, we Chelsea fan, we're like kids who are sitting in front of the Christmas tree, trying to open their Christmas gift, not sure what's inside, but this time with a little twist. The fact that Roman Abramovich is part of the selection process, I think that gives us hope that we will eventually we will get something nice after opening the gift. And today we will talk about all the bidders. We will talk about the likely new owner. We will talk about what type of owner would like to see, and we will with the panelists. I will have them try to predict, how things would change at Chelsea, because most definitely things will change at Chelsea. And with that, I say welcome to everybody. I say welcome to Kakari. Now I'm avoiding saying your first name because staff corrected me live on the show, and maybe he'll teach me how to say it later. So let's get into it. Yes, welcome back, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Match day, usually better on the match day. Although I'm going to go into hiding later.
if we lose to Middlesbrough, right? But that's by the way, Stab. I think because this is an interactive show, let's quickly take this comment here from Uchiha Sasuke Uchiha, who says the Athletic has put Todd Boehly's groups and the Ricketts as favorites. There had been no bid from Saudi prior to Friday, and attempts to find Saudi backers were proven difficult. That is some bad news if you ask me, but I still do think they had a bid in. Maybe because none of us are there, we cannot tell who had a bid in and who doesn't. So, but Stav, give us any updates on the bid that went in before the deadline, which was yesterday, 9 p.m. UK time.
Well, I know the same as everybody else. I've read that there's been up to 30 bids.
Up to 30 in total.
Yeah. One of the reports stated that everyone was saying that nobody would be interested in buying us because we're too toxic. But there you go, end up with 30 bids. The Candy one, for sure. He's now working with South Koreans and other companies. So he's likely to be a front man. And there's one from John Terry, which I mentioned yesterday. And
exactly. Who's Terry trying to team up with?
He's not trying to team up with anyone. He's trying to team up with whoever. What he wants to do is he wants to buy 10%, right, of whoever actually buys the club. Whoever wins it, he wants 10% to give. It's never going to happen, right? But to give the fans a voice.
Okay, let me ask this. Why do you think Terry, I'll let you go back to okay, go ahead. When you're done, I want you to tell us why you think Terry is doing this. Is it personal for him, or is John Terry doing it just to represent, to have a proper representation of the club, on the board of whoever buys the club? But go ahead. Once you're done, I want us to talk about why you think John Terry is doing that. And if you're in the chat, let us know why you think John Terry is trying to buy 10% of whoever that is from whatever group that ends up taking over Chelsea Football Club. And again, I must let you guys know, if we have up to 100 people in the chat participating today, we will most definitely do a giveaway of an authentic Chelsea polo shirt, or the cash equivalent, which is $50. So go ahead, Stav.
No, it's just, well, he's Chelsea, isn't he? End of the day, he's Chelsea. We all talk about these heroes, legends, best evers and everything. Right? But he's Chelsea. Joined at a young age, made his debut at a young age, became captain at a young age. Could have signed for Man United, didn't. Could have signed for West Ham, didn't. Chose Chelsea. So it's him and one of the ex-female players, one of the women's players. Her name keeps slipping from my mind. Yeah, anyway, her name will come back. And basically, they just want to give the fans a voice. And that's it, really. It's never going to happen anyway. Nobody's going to buy it and accept.
I think as the process is going on, I think it's a smart move by John Terry. Here's why I see it. This is more like a war, whether we like it or not. And before we continue, I want to say welcome to Terry B. Gotsa, who says he's watching live from Zimbabwe. And with that, I ask everybody in the chat, if you don't mind, please let us know where you're watching this show from. That will make us happy, and we'd like to welcome you if we haven't already. And Terry B. Gosta, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please come onto YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, you get the chance to participate in the giveaway. And I'm hopeful that we will reach 100 participants today. That way we can do the giveaway as promised. So Gosta, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Just Viola, nice to see you here. And I will check the DM, like you said. Thank you for always providing us with fresh information. And is it confirmed yet? That's Happy Wednesday, Ottoman? No, not yet. We're following it. The moment it's confirmed, be rest assured, this is one of the first Chelsea content channels that you will hear it from. So stay tuned with us. And Sasika Coachila says the Athletic is very reliable, to be honest. Yep, but they don't get it right all the time. Great comments. Big up, coach and staff, everyone watching. And Fahim, CFC Fahim, always nice to see you, brother. Great channel. If you haven't subscribed to CFC Fahim, better go do now. It's a great channel. I'm friends with him because he keeps it objective. No clickbait. Pierre, always good to see you. Saw no beat from the Chelsea Perspective Consulting, though. we were still contemplating. Staff delayed everything, so we couldn't make it on time, but we're hopeful maybe they will accommodate us. So blame it on staff, not me. Good one there by Kakari. I love it. Chelsea will go to Saudi media, in my opinion. They got lots of money, but we're seeing that they didn't put a bid in. I hope that's not the truth, because they are my favorite. I hope they did put a bid in. If they do, I think they are more likely to win it. But if not, it will most definitely go to the Boehly team, because the Ricketts, they have an issue. I don't see them getting it. Okay, let's see this comment here. Consortium with more than 3 participants will only make Chelsea management will be Rojak and Chaos. But yeah, I guess it depends on who's on the team. But the good thing is that Roman is part of the team that's going to pick who takes over Chelsea Football Club. So you go ahead, Stav.
Well, the Saudis have got 3 participants. Newcastle. So depends. At the end of the day, right, you pick one person to represent the consortium. Obviously, he's going to be he or she will be answerable to the rest of the consortium. But the person who's picked to do it obviously gets a fair bit of say, like the woman at Newcastle. Right. So that said, I believe I read a report yesterday that the Saudis at Newcastle weren't too keen on the other Saudis bidding for Chelsea. So
why do you think that is?
Well, they don't want the competition, do they? End of the day, they don't want to see us get stronger. And there is other stuff as well.
So there is the possibility that they really did not put a bid in.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I'm not saying
go ahead.
that they didn't. There's other things now coming out. The Boehly and the Ricketts ones being deemed the favourites because they're already involved in sports teams.
So sorry, let me get this. You're saying the Saudis, there's a likelihood that they did not put in a bid.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Because,
okay, I want to show this. Yeah, I want to show this. There's a possibility. I want to show this on the screen by Nizar Kinsella. That was 19 hours ago, which says a Saudi media's bid is currently being finalized and will be sent to Reni Group before the deadline. They have a good active dialogue and have faced no issues in the process and have been encouraged to proceed. Details, I don't want to go to go.com right now. So, but there's still, even after this, what you explained makes it clear there's still a possibility that they did not put a bid in, but I still believe that it went in. And again, we have to learn something from this. Is everything we hear about this whole process, nothing is certain, because first of all, we heard before that the Saudis had already put a bid in. You understand? Now we're hearing they haven't even put a bid in. They were still, preparing to put a bid in, and that was yesterday before the deadline. So that makes that teaches us all to be careful, not to just jump to conclusion that things are what they seem the moment we see it on our favorite newspapers or favorite news outlets or something like that. We must tread carefully in how we pick information. Go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, there's other issues as well. Ones that we're not going to like, if true. One of the issues is that some of the clubs in the Premier League want to see us have points deducted because of Roman not calling in the money owed to him. So they're seeing that as I can't explain it. They're seeing that as Chelsea had an unfair advantage.
Let me just try to understand what you're saying. You're saying that some Premier League clubs are calling for the FA to deduct points from Chelsea. Allegedly. Do you think that's a possibility? I don't think that will happen because I think it will cause some serious chaos in the Premier League. A lot. Well, it will set a dangerous precedent, and I don't think Chelsea fans will take it lightly. It will cause serious issue. Go ahead.
It's pathetic anyway. Right?
It is.
So, can I explain something?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me just clarify something. Let's get this straight, okay? Right, a report on SB Nation, right?
Just 1 second. And Gabriel Kobina ACN says he's watching from Ghana. Please let's give the team to the Saudi group. Well, it's not up to us. We want them to win it. I think they are the fans' favorite, but apparently their bid did not go through. I hope that's not the case. I am still hopeful because none of us are at the table with the Iran group. We don't know exactly what's going on there. All we hear about, just see it as speculations. You're not even sure who's going to win it. And again, welcome. And let us know if you're related to Michael Essien. That would be great to know. The final decision will be made by CFC, i.e. Marina, Bruce. And of course, in the background, it will be Roman Patrick Asbacha. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Welcome to the channel. And if you haven't, please, wherever you're watching from, make sure to click on that like button and subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. That will help to go a long way for the channel. And here, what's his name? Like the stream. Yes, people do like the stream like the Queen here says to you all. And Kakari says that some of the people being added to some consortium are prominent Chelsea fans whose backing it can be useful for that consortium. That's an important point. But here's what I'm concerned. In some cases, you hear that some of those people are, some of those groups or consortium, if you like, they're not that is financially competent. They have to borrow money. And I think it was Mikhail that mentioned a few days ago that his concern is the groups that will borrow money to buy Chelsea, and then in the future start complaining that they don't have money, and that could lead to problems for the club. That's where I am really concerned. Now, big up to you, Nick Blue. Always good to see you here. And Saudi to the power, Terry B in Zimbabwe. Nice to see you here, Terry B. Welcome to Chelsea Perspective, and I hope you already subscribed. If you haven't, please do so and like the stream. Go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, so something that I've been trying to explain for the last few days that people don't, certain people can't seem to grasp it, right? If they deduct points from us because of Roman not taking the money or asking for the money back, then that's a total nonsense, right? And the reason it's a total nonsense, and something like I said, I've been trying to explain for days now, it's not a debt. It's not a debt. The money, the 1.5 billion, is for the players we bought, for buying another stadium for the academy, building Cobham, right? It's his investment into the club, but it was structured in a way, right, via Fordham, which is the parent company, to protect both Roman, right, and the club, okay? And it also got ways round FFP, okay? And that's why it's structured the way it is. It's not a debt. It never has been a debt, right? So the thing is, why would that be a debt? That's Roman put that money in. Why is that a debt? When Man City have put over $1 billion in as well in the shortest space of time, right? Newcastle are putting money in, right? Now, the new Saudis, right? It's not like Roman's the only one who's invested money into a club, right? It doesn't make it a debt. It's a waste. It was structured, right? It helped us get around certain things with FFP. It helped protect the club from being, because it's a PLC, being foreclosed. So the money sits in Fordham's, which is the parent company. Yeah, it comes from them. But Chelsea FC is a PLC. So it's to protect Chelsea FC. It's not a debt. It doesn't mean that over these 19 years, right, we lost 1.5 billion. And he was like servicing all debts. It includes everything. This is what I was trying to explain, right, with certain individuals, right, and to stop going on that it's a debt. It's not a debt. It was his investment. Just the same as Man City.
What Stav has explained it to us, and that's why I always like to have Stav on the panel, his experience.
Listen, I need to go out and come back in. I'm getting feedback again.
No problem. Go ahead, brother. So Stav understands the club very well. He understands the structure. He understands the financial aspect of the club very well. And he understands the current situation very well. So that alone is a plus for us. That's why I always like to have a Stav on the panel here. So again, one thing he's explaining right now, that the Premier League cannot deduct points for us. And those Premier League clubs are arguing that Chelsea, the Roman did not call in the debt that Chelsea or owe him, means that the FA should deduct points from us. And I think it's witch hunt overall. We're so hated. And like we said yesterday, it is practically the war against Chelsea Football Club. It is practically the war against Chelsea fans. But the truth is, we shall overcome. So Stav is saying it is not a debt. So we don't owe Roman. It's just it cannot be called technically called a debt. So go ahead, Stav. I'll let you continue. And I want to let everybody in the chat to know that I promise if we have 100 participants, we're going to do we will do a giveaway of an authentic Chelsea polo shirt or the cash equivalent, which is $50. So if you know who to invite to join us here to make up the numbers, you go ahead and do that. Go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. I can listen. Let's be honest. It's going to be West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham, and any of the other teams that are within spitting distance of Chelsea in the Premier League. They're the ones who are going to be after doing that. Okay, I would be very surprised. Possibly Man United as well. I'd be very surprised if Liverpool and Man City are involved in it. right? So that's
Yeah,
the
because
first thing.
I think you make a good point. I think it most definitely will be those teams that are struggling to get into top four. Those are the teams I think would want points to be deducted from from Chelsea Football Club, so that will push them further up the table. But I don't think the FA would do that. I think it's hard. It will be very difficult to justify.
It's
Already,
not down.
we're going
It's not
through a
down to the
lot.
FA anyway. It's not down to the FA anyway.
Who
It's the EPL.
who's it down to?
The EPL, the Premier League
Yeah.
Management Committee.
So even
Right.
those, I don't think they would do that, because how would they justify it?
Well, it's ludicrous, isn't it? Because they're then going to have to. Manchester City are not going to get involved in that because they're having money invested in them in the same
Mhm.
way, right?
Mhm.
Same thing with Liverpool. There might be
Mhm.
the owners might be American, but they still invest money. It's just going to be the clubs that suddenly see a chance of making top four,
Mhm.
right? So it's a nonsense anyway. And the other thing is that UEFA are supposedly going to look into our FFP dealings. So it's just pathetic anyway. It's like you said, it's a witch hunt in some cases.
It is a witch hunt, and it's daylight witch hunt now. It's not even subtle. It's not like they're doing it in a very subtle way. It's open right now. I don't know what else they want to do to us. The guy has relinquished the ownership of the club. He just wants it to be sold as soon as possible, and still they are coming after us. I don't know if I've read this comment here from Patrick Ostaba. The final, okay, I've read it before. Come down, and Roman in the background. Okay, I've read all these comments, and I'm watching. And if you're here, if you have any questions for us, please shoot it. We'll try to answer it. I have a poll that asked the participants here if they are nervous. 50% say yes, they're nervous, and 50% says no, they're not nervous. Where I'm not nervous is the fact that the club, who mentioned that here? I think it's this brother here. The final decision will be made by CFC. For example, Marina, Bruceborg, and of course, in the background will be Roman. That gives me hope. But the area where I'm concerned now is that the fact that even UEFA is sanctioning, punishing Chelsea by saying, we are going to play our home games with our fans in the stadium. That's not a good sign. It sets a dangerous precedent, and they're following the footsteps of the British government, and now also we're hearing that they are planning that some clubs are calling for the EPL management group or whatever you call them to deduct points from Chelsea Football Club. Other than that, I'm not concerned. I'm quite sure. I am very sure that Roman will be sure, and Marina and Patacek, whoever that makes that final decision, will make sure that will be handed over to somebody that would take good care of the club. So, Stav, before you continue, I want to say hello again to Frizz. Oh, nice to see you again. Yes, no to the Ricketts family. I wish the decision comes down to the fans. If it's not the case, I don't think they will come anywhere near Stamford Bridge. And I think also those that are making the selections, I think they're following what's going on in the fan base. They're listening to the fans, and I think they will know that the fans will revolt should the Ricketts family be picked as the new owners of Chelsea, because that incident where the family are where they're trying to that's defend say that's who said something that it made that Islamophobic comment. It's just their father. I think that is not something that can be easily swept under the rug. It will always be there for us to see. So we don't want the Ricketts family. I know Marina, she'll be hearing the fans. Bruce Buck will be hearing the fans too. I don't think that will happen. And Fraser also said Premier League owners should shut up. Yes, a big shut up to them. I mean, for me, I'd say let them stick it up. All their thoughts of deducting points from Chelsea up there, you know what. Yeah, great fan. Don't agree with other Premier League teams to deduct points from our point. Greedy people, they are greedy, and that's not good. That's a prime example of people kicking you while you're on the ground. But the truth is, we'll come out of this stronger and even better. So they better be ready because we'll still keep winning. And I know they don't like that. UEFA doesn't want to lose money. So why? It's a political, probably there's a chance that the UEFA sponsors might have pressured them a bit, although we don't know about it. But these guys, they talk. Forget the saying that sports and football don't mix. Oh no, sports and football do mix. I think we're learning that the hard way now. I think they might have communicated to. There might have been some communications from UEFA and their sponsors that asked them to do something, at least do something to show they're not they're in support of what the government are doing to sanction Chelsea, because they see it as if they're punishing Roman Abramovich, not even the club, not even the fans. So yeah, to them, they're probably trying not to lose money, if you ask me. And just Viola said, why are they punishing the players and the manager and the fans? Let me complete that for you. I just don't know. I think maybe, Stav, you come in for this question from Just Viola.
Yeah, okay, look, let me clarify a few things. Right. UEFA, they're responding to the EU freezing Roman's assets, and they're saying that they want to stay in step with the EU, right? So that's them. It's not, nothing's been mentioned about sponsors putting pressure or anything like that, right? The thing is, it's for the one round only so far. If we can get a new owner in before the semi-final, if we reach a semi, then things could change. But then the situation's still difficult because you would have to be selling tickets really quick right, for the semi-final. So that could change things. You've also got, if we win today, we go into the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is at Wembley. So the government are going to have to look at changing things as well. Right, the whole situation's. I hate saying this. It's all pathetic because it's people.
It is pathetic indeed. Yeah,
it's people who are not thinking about things properly. The EU don't think about things properly, right? And then UEFA are having to pander to them, and then those that we're not allowed to mention, right, are incapable of doing the license properly, right? And then the EPL are pandering to them, right? Although the EPL and the FA are in talks with those we are not allowed to mention regarding allowing us to sell tickets, right? It's how can we have fans, right, not able to buy tickets, right, and going into games without an even playing field, and shall we call it sporting integrity, and then they want to deduct points from us as well. They're ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, it is. I think, like we've established, it is clearly a witch hunt. I don't think there's any other way to define it, that to call it what it is, which is a witch hunt. So, yeah, Stav, I'm going to come to you with another question, but let's quickly breeze through the comments in the chat because this is an interactive.
Say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just say one thing. Let me say one thing. One thing quickly. The Turkish guy, didn't put a bid in.
Mushin Bayrak?
Yeah, he didn't put a bid in, and he turned around and come up with some feeble excuse that it was some
which
kind
means
of
all this
complication.
while, like we've suspected, to him, it's just an opportunity to get even more popular than he was, because the truth is we knew nothing about him until it was announced that Chelsea is up for sale. I think it was a publicity stunt by him because he was too overly vocal for me in the situation. Yeah, I've had a meeting with it. At some point, we heard that he's had a meeting with Roman. At some point, we heard also that Roman traveled to Turkey. Was it to meet with him? We didn't know. And that, again, teaches us to take this whole thing as all speculations. We're not sure what's going to happen until it is announced that this is the new owner. But you go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, another bit of information is that we've lost another sponsor. I find this one quite interesting actually. Paddy Match Tech, they're an online gambling, right?
Yeah, I think that happened a few days ago, actually.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were formed in 1995, I think it was.
We've lost them. We don't want to know when they're formed, so they cannot go.
There is. No, listen, there's more background to it, right? The main owners are like Ukrainian, right? But
Okay,
the head office is here in Cyprus.
Okay, I see.
Basically, what they've done, right? And I'm not demeaning what's going on in Ukraine, right? But they've froze their connection with us. There was a lot of stuff online, adverts and stuff like that.
Here's what confuses me even more. Yeah, here's one thing that I don't really understand. Roman is born and raised in Ukraine, wasn't he? Before the old USSR, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to them, does it?
No, I'm just saying. I just want to establish that. So let me go through the comments in here. So, Stab, the question. So when that is the final decision. When will it be made? Any idea? That's the question from Estienne here.
Well, for the new owner.
Yeah. When are we going to find out who the new owner will be? But the fact is, I want to let you know, if you're here, do not be worried. I'm working hand in hand with Just Viola, who's very, very active in the media. Trying to find out if anything, and also we have CFC Fahim here as one to show if anything happens, you're gonna hear it. This is one of the first places you will hear it, so don't worry about that. But when should we be expecting the final decision?
Well, if there's been that many bids, it's going to slow the process down, isn't it? Because they want to get it down to 3 or 4. You're not going to hear anything new, I wouldn't have thought, till Monday. Then
so you're saying first they will narrow the list down to 3 or 4?
The list down.
Okay.
Yeah, to 3 or 4. Right? That's not going to happen before Monday. I don't know if rain work on weekends, so that's going to be an issue. So Monday, Tuesday, I would imagine they do the narrowing down, and then Marina, Roman, Bruce Buck, and Rain will have discussions with regards to the ones that are narrowed down. By the end of next week, I would imagine they've chosen one and presented it to the government. So as long as the government don't object and they've all got the money in place, ready to go straight in, you're talking maybe 2 more weeks after that for the EPL to do their checks. So you're talking
to vet the new owner to be sure. Okay.
You're talking mid-April before.
But we'll have an idea even before mid-April.
Yeah, it'll be before.
So another thing I want to ask you is this: if they decide who the new owner will be before the current license in place or the restrictions in place expires, will that kill the restrictions immediately?
No, it'll.
It must get to that date. It must get to the set date.
No. It can finish before the set date, May 31st.
As long as a new owner is selected.
Yeah. And until the deal is concluded, the license will remain in place, but they will likely change some of the aspects of the license.
Okay, so let me breeze through the comments in the chat again quickly. And this is Fraser saying Premier League owners are jealous. Nobody want to buy them. That's the truth. And the truth is Chelsea is given that it's in London. Is it central London, right? That's where it is.
Yeah.
So exactly, it's a good attraction to all investors all over the world, and that will never change, even no matter what happens. And that's why we'll always come back stronger. And that's not just the reason why I love Chelsea. I love Chelsea because it has a very good history of helping the oppressed. And again, for example, a prime example being I served as a refugee camp for Belgium, refugees during World War II, or was it World War I? I'm not sure. One of the world wars, but that's something to be proud of if you're a Chelsea fan. Chelsea emerged as one of the most generous clubs in the UK. That was in 2020 or so. And Chelsea does a lot of work for against racism, against discrimination of all sorts, anti-Semitism, and all that. I think that nobody talks about that, but I think our history will eventually do us good because we've been a good club, and we care about the British community. Chelsea is a club that cares about its immediate community and the global community at large, and not just that. And they take care of their own, so that's good, something to be proud of if you're a Chelsea fan. And hoping for the good wishes for to our Chelsea club future. Whoever will be the new owner, that's the truth. Whoever becomes the owner, I'm sure will be all right. But for sure, I can tell you this: I don't see the Ricketts family coming through. Like again, I'm going to start. I'm beginning to sound like a broken record. The fact still remains that Marina, Bruce Bock, and those that will help make the final decision, they must have read what their father said. His hate for the Muslims, and they know we have quite a lot of Muslim contingents at Chelsea. And again, Chelsea isn't a club to discriminate against religion, so I don't think that we ever consider them. They might make the argument, well, it was our father that did that, not us. It doesn't matter. For your father to have done such means it's in the family, so that's no denying that. And also, I wanted to say something about. Here's where I disagree with you about the case of where you're saying John Terry wanting 10% isn't going to happen. I think it will happen. I think any buyer that accepts, okay, we will welcome John Terry, that increases your chances of buying Chelsea Football Club, because Terry is a Chelsea through and through. Even as the whole thing started happening, Frank denied Roman Abramovich, and he practically denied Chelsea Football Club. Technically, you could argue he denied also the Chelsea fans, but John Terry openly said good stuff about Roman Abramovich. So I think there may be some, that is John Terry coming out saying he wants 10%. That may be a strategy from the club to see who really wants to welcome somebody that knows the club through and through, who's played for the club, led the club for, that is, I think he's led the club for a while. I think John Terry gets that 10% he wants. I think it's a strategy by the club, if you ask me. But I'll come back to you. CFC Fahim, again, great channel, and I urge you to go check it out if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. It's one of the fastest growing up and coming channels in the Chelsea community. Very objective, and that's why I'm friends with him. And overall, we'll become friends. He says media helped Chelsea because before Roman, it was Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool that were main teams in the country. They want those three teams to win, not us. That's the truth. They hated to see us. They hated to see, that is the hate. They hate the emergence of Chelsea Football Club. They hate the fact that Chelsea, that sprung up from nowhere to like start challenging all those teams. And since Roman took over, I think we've won more trophies than any other club in the UK. And yeah, Stab, what you have to say about that?
Right, the John Terry thing. Okay, that's after somebody buys it. Right, he's not involved in any of the. He wasn't involved in any of the consortiums. Right, basically, what he's saying is, when it's been decided who's bought it, he would like them to take him on board, right, with the 10%, right, and so he's not part of any of the consortiums as it stands. Apparently he's got 250 million together for the 10%, i.e. 2.5 billion, 10%, 250 million. So he's not actually part of any consortium as it stands. Okay. So
don't you think that given his status as a Chelsea legend and his Chelsea through and through, and can stick his head, can take a bullet for the club, if you ask me, don't you think that those groups would consider giving him at least half, let's say 5%, not 10, or some percentage of that, just to make them more appealing to those that make the final decision. That's my argument. I think is that a strategy? Is that John Terry knowing that his status at the club will be attractive to the potential new owners? And don't you think that will make potential new owners consider that? Because he will make them attractive to those that make the final decision.
Yeah, to Nick Candy it will. To Matthew Broughton it will. Who are both Chelsea fans, right? I wouldn't bank on the Americans being that bothered about having him on board. So I don't think it's definitely the case with every one of the consortiums. And was it just Viola who said earlier on that the two American ones were the favourites? And I've broached this subject before, that if they are deemed amongst the favourites because they already own sports clubs, have sport club involvement, and they've both developed stadiums. So that's why they're deemed the favourites. But that's by the media, isn't it?
Exactly. Like we've seen a whole lot of stuff during this short period that we must start. That is, we must learn to see all those whatever we see in the media as all speculations, because we're in there. And like I've mentioned before, the Saudis, the fact that we're learning that they didn't end up putting in a bid shows you just start seeing everything as speculations until it is official that's we hear from see it on the Chelsea website that these are the people that have bought Chelsea. But go ahead, Stab.
Yeah, it'll come to light who's put bids in. So if the Saudis did, we'll find out one way or the other. Right, but anyway, I just wanted to clarify the John Terry thing. That's why I mentioned him. And
go ahead.
The former women's player is Claire Rafferty. Right, so it's Claire Rafferty is the women's player. Okay, the name just come back to me while I was talking. So that's a women's legend as well involved in it. So
a Chelsea fan.
No, she's an ex-player. And she's a Chelsea fan as well.
Okay, I want to read this comment here. It says, it is confirmed, contrary to reports, the Saudi media group had not made a bid prior to Friday, and attempts to find wealthy backers in Saudi were proven difficult. Absolute Chelsea. I believe that now. And I think you did mention on the show before, was it yesterday or a few days ago, that the Saudi, the guy that's trying to buy Chelsea, he doesn't have enough cash. His was just $1 billion or so, I'm not sure how much. So, but he's looking to get all the people in to form a consortium to buy Chelsea Football Club. So, yeah, thank you very much for that information, Uchiha. Always appreciate you, supporting the channel however you can and contributing with what's going on. Just give me a second, staff. They cannot deduct their court case. Yeah, it will lead to a court case, and it cannot be justified for any reason. It's just a pure witch hunt and hate for a successful club in London. This is just people exchanging pleasantries in the chat. SMG, Saudi Media Group, never put in a bid in the first place. Yes, exactly. That teaches us to always see all these things as speculations. And he says, stop. Fake. Fraser, can you update us? Do you think they put in a bid? I don't know, bro. It's absolute Chelsea tweet. Okay. I think Chelsea fans should protest this unfair treatment. Right now, I think there's no point to protest at this point. And Nick Blue, you asked for the link to the panel, and I've sent it to you. Please check. If you haven't seen it, let me know. And Fraser says Athletic is fake. Possibly Nizar said bid in. So it is conflicting reports. But again, that's why you have to see all these things as speculations until the final, we get official report. Come on, okay, this is just them. Nizar Kinsella being quiet since the deadline and confirmed the bids. Okay. And both Matt Law Athletic knows nothing about Saudis. It's Nizar. Okay. In this case, Chelsea have been a scapegoat, and other club teams, the league, the FA, the UEFA jump in to make the things worse. that is already is. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point there. I really don't get. Okay, how long it take here the winner? I think by Monday, like staff said, we could hear something. And Terry B, Gusta, if you haven't, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and also like the video so we can reach more people. And I can assure you, the moment we hear anything new, you will hear it here. And this is Saturday. Blue mornings and Saturdays are usually marathon of version. Let's see how long we can go today. Sam Matt Law, this is just, let me see if I see anything different here. And this is SN saying the CFC should be better fast. Yep. Okay. You go ahead, Stav.
What do you want me to go ahead with?
Go ahead. You were saying something. Let me read this. Matt Law is pushing for Todd Boehly Consortium and Ricketts family like he has something at stake. They probably paid him to do so. Those are journalists. They're well connected. Somebody must have informed the Boehly and Ricketts family that this is the guy you need to help push your agenda. But again, I'm going to make it clear, I don't think the Ricketts family will come through. The fact being that what their father did is all over the news. You can download sample of the email there, so that makes it even more difficult for them. Go ahead, Stav, you were saying something.
Yeah, the thing is, all these Matt Law, all these people, Nizar Kinsella, right? That Fabrizio Romano idiot, and I'm going to call him an idiot because he is. Right? They're all going to push one of the bids or two bids, right? Because if they get in, if they buy the club, they then start being exclusives and things like that, right? Okay. So they'll start getting the exclusives. They'll end up getting the first interview with the new owners and all this kind of rubbish, right? So I've said from day one, right, I don't take any notice of any of them, to be honest, right? I just come on here, I repeat what they're saying, and then I leave it to people to decide whether they want to believe it or not. Okay, just like I said with the thing regarding UEFA thinking about looking into FFP, just like I said, with the points deductions, they've only been reported since this morning, right? Overnight, they started getting reported. Now, again, I need to clarify that UEFA are basically only doing what they think the EU wants them to do. If the EU hadn't sanctioned Roman, then we wouldn't be playing behind closed doors. But because the EU have decided to sanction Roman, that's why we're playing behind closed doors. The thing regarding points deduction, if true, that's going to come from some ridiculous clubs which are directly below us and have a chance of catching us, right? From the last time I checked, the next team down from us is 8 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. So we're reaching the stage now. We're getting into the last 8 games, 7, 8, 9 games for some teams, right? So we're reaching the stage now where some of them are starting to realise, hold on a minute, we can't catch them. If we carry on playing to form and keep on winning, we won't be able to catch them soon. So they're now kicking off because they want to get it in early, right? But there'll be teams that don't want to be approached the same way. Manchester City, right? Newcastle, they don't want to start saying, oh, well, we think they should be deducted points. And then next thing you know, Chelsea are going to be saying like, well, what about the money you're going to spend? Same to Man City. So Man City won't be involved in that. Liverpool won't. I wouldn't have thought Newcastle will. There'll be teams that will support Chelsea. Some clubs will support Chelsea and make it for the ridiculous thing that it is.
Yeah, I will come back to you. And also, I have some interesting inputs there from Kakari that I want to read also. And I mistakenly, I skipped this question here from CFC Fahim. He's asking, and again, please, whatever you're watching from, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That will go a long way. And okay, you know what? I'm gonna say if we have up to 50 people, we will do the giveaway. I will not wait for us to reach 100. Right now, we have 38 people watching. If we get to 50 people watching, we will do a giveaway. And everybody that wants to participate has to be watching on YouTube. Right now, it is 41 people, what I'm seeing on the screen. Now, he says that the Korean group involved in the candy not bid. I'm not sure because we're not at the table. Any info on that stuff? And before you continue, I'd like to say welcome to the panel to Nick Blue. And if you want to join us here, the link to the panel is in the chat. Any update on the Korean group that was talked about before?
Well, the thing is, the Korean book are financially backing candy. So Reese put a bid in there.
Okay, so that means they're part of the group that have
part
a
of his
bid in.
consortium. Yeah, they're part of his consortium.
Okay, so the Korean group,
And
did they make okay, let me ask this.
It's two separate Korean companies.
Two separate Korean companies. And let me ask this: the ones that joined the candy group, did they make them better? You think?
Yeah, because they're two Korean companies that have money to spend and not scared to spend it, right? And they want to improve their profile around the world. Plus, if they own Chelsea, right, then they can get a fan base from there. So they will make money out of Chelsea.
So that's a good strategy. That's a good strategy from that group.
Sorry?
That's a good strategy from that group.
Yeah, because then the thing is, the report
because it opens the door. It opens the door for more fan base in the Korean that is in the country, and also more. It opens the room for also more sponsorship from that aspect also, from that state country also.
It's not just that, is it? Right, we got a Chinese fan base, right? You've got a fan base in India, right? You've got a fan base in numerous countries in that area, right? So what you do is, if you own Chelsea, your company gets business. Doesn't have to be just through owning Chelsea, and then you take money back out of the business and out of Chelsea and that. Right? They're not looking at making their money from Chelsea. They're looking at making the money from Chelsea's fan base in the Middle East and the Far East, where they're dealing, where they operate, right? And obviously, like for example, Samsung's Korean, right? So
all right, I want to let the people know, the people in the chat know, the link to the panel is there. Guest panelist, anybody, wherever you're watching from, you can come in for a minute or two and tell us how you feel about the whole situation and who you want to emerge as the winner. The link to the panel is in the chat. If you can find it, ask Just Viola. She will get it quickly. It's pinned, so probably at the very top of the chat, so you can get it. And I want to go through this comment again quickly. Where's that coming from? CSC Fahim, that's where I stopped. I've read that one before. Just a minute, I'll come back and I'll go to Nick Blue. Here's a comment here. You can find it. It is pinned. And this comment here says Chelsea's new owners will also get a significant property portfolio around Stamford Bridge, worth tens of millions of pounds as a legacy of Roman's attempt to redevelop the ground. I think we'll start. Please don't forget to talk about this one later. I think it's something you understand better than I do. And Kakari also says this includes two hotels, apartments, and mansions block on the Fulham Road. So it's a really, really good deal. This is just we are saying something. And Neo Chris says, I am here. Welcome, Neo Chris, and make sure to subscribe and also like the stream for us to reach more people. Again, we have like 41 people watching right now. If we get to a stable 40 people participating, then we'll do a giveaway definitely 10 minutes after that. We have Kate Rob, let the Arab take Chelsea. I wish it was up to us. And Kate, welcome to the channel. If you haven't, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. That helps us. And also, I have a brother here, Charles Onoha Dalo, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't, please do like the video and also subscribe and support your brother. And this comment here from Just Viola said, absolute Chelsea. It was later confirmed that Nick Candy, who had previously heavily been linked with a move for Chelsea, was behind this. This as a spokesperson. Okay. Continued. I can confirm that the two South Korean firm, Hana Financial Group and CP Sports Group, are a significant part of Mr. Candy's global consortium of investors. That's great to hear. Thank you very much for keeping us informed here. Their involvement is a representative of Chelsea's global brand and a huge loyal fan base. Oh, Just Viola, I just wish you can come onto the panel. You have some great info here for us, and I sincerely do appreciate that. And again, I'm seeing PJ Artist, welcome back. What's the Chelsea Absolute and about Rudiger agree 4-year deal with Juventus? I'm not sure. I don't have anything on that story. Stav, do you know anything about the story? And I want to welcome Stav went out. Also, I want to add Nick Blue. Is he still here? Nick Blue is still here. Maybe I have duplicate Nick Blue. Showtime joins the panel. Stav, do you have anything to say about this Rudiger rumor?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead quickly so that Nick Blue can come in.
I've seen it.
And go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same thing again, isn't it? Speculation. The rumor is that he's agreed a 4-year deal with Juventus.
So, and you think it's all speculations, nothing is confirmed?
Well, the thing is, it's come from an Italian source, right? I told you yesterday that he'd actually agreed terms with Chelsea, and it was just a signing on fee that was an issue. There's a possibility, if I had to guess, that it's a possibility that he's told them that if he can't sign for Chelsea, he'll join them. Right?
Okay.
That's right. That's how I'm viewing it.
That's
because he agreed a deal with Chelsea, but as things are suspended. But if he doesn't wait, because he can't sign for them till July the 1st, if he doesn't wait and see, then I've got an issue with him. If he's going to just...
Okay, Nick, I'll come to you. Let me just say, welcome to the panel, Showtime. Always good to have you here, brother. How are you doing?
I'm well, and you?
Awesome. I can't complain, brother. I can't complain because there's hope. I can see light at the end of the tunnel. I'm only concerned about the push for some Premier League clubs for Chelsea to be deducted points. I don't think that will happen, but I'm a bit concerned because when such things start floating around, it may push the EPL to do something because they feel like the world will feel like they're not doing anything to punish Chelsea. I hope that doesn't happen. But if they do, like Fraser, I think it was Fraser that said that, or Fraser that said that it will turn into a court battle, and I hope it happens. So Nick Blue, how are you? And welcome to the panel again. Nick, are you there? I think I have two Nicks here. Maybe this Nick here have issue. I'll kick this one off the studio and then add this Nick here. Nick, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear. Just 1 second, I'll come to you. Let me just read the chat again. The line's open. Yeah, the lines are open. The link is in the chat if you want to join. Saudi or nothing. I wish it is up to us. Told you, TJ. And told you, TJ, Elix, this is your first time here. If you haven't, please like the video and also smash the like button. And the rest assured, we are watching. And if anything comes up, we will update you immediately. And I'm glad to welcome DJ Sav to the panel. He's well connected and can always keep us updated. And Saudi or administration, no, I don't think that will happen. We'll still be good. It's just that maybe we will get a consortium that we don't want. Matthew Lecono says, so what happens if we get a new owner? Will the UK government lift the sanction? So can you answer this one, Nick Blue?
Yes.
I've answered that already.
We said but
this is a new person. Sorry, Nick. This is Stav. I know you've answered that, but this is a new person that doesn't know, and this is an interactive show. We let the fans drive the show. So go ahead, Nick Blue.
Yeah, look, with the government, like we said, it's Roman Abramovich's people, Rain Group, They gonna, like we all know. Well, we'll explain again. They're gonna choose one of the bidders. We had a lot of bidders, and they're gonna choose the right one, which Roman told them to. So it's all about Roman. Roman won't choose a bad owner for us. So and then they will take it to the government, and it's up to the government to agree or not agree. They have the final say. Roman can only choose, and he doesn't get a penny of the money either. And yeah, that's about it about that. Yeah, I want to say about the old, the bidders. This Ricketts family, I know we don't all want them, these Americans, but lately they're becoming, they put a bid and they made some promotions, like they're saying they're going to rebuild they have plans to rebuild. They have a lot of, experience in rebuilding stadiums because they've done it in America. Yeah, that's a good thing about what I heard. Sounds good. But the Saudi Arabia as well, we haven't. I think it's died down a bit from them. It looks like it. And Nick Handy is showing more interest now. He said he's got other people to help him buy the club. So, but we don't know. No one knows. We can all come and say this. It might be him. It might be that.
Yeah.
End of the day, it could be someone out there. Listen to this. It could be someone who's like Roman, who like when Roman came. Who knew Roman Abramovich? None of us. He came out of the blue and become the best owner in world football. Let's just hope. That's what I want. I don't want no one. I want someone who come in out of the blue, like myself. If I was a billion trillionaire, that's what I would do. You never know who's out there. So let's wait and see. Have faith. Have faith because I have now. Because yesterday, as you all know, I was at the Stamford Bridge for Peter Benet's testimonial, and I met a lot of interesting faces, icons, Ron Harris, Pat Nevin, John Hollins, Charlie Cook. I met a lot of people, and I talked to them, especially Pat Nevin. And when Pat Nevin said to me, we know what we're doing. You don't have to worry about a thing, because they know what's going to happen. They can't put it out there yet, but he's very confident. If he's confident, I'm confident. Yeah, and it was a very emotional day, I must say, yesterday, to see the old legends. That was unbelievable.
So overall, Nick, you answered the question you answered, because I'll still come back to you. Your answer to this question is that the moment so what happens if we get a new owner? The moment the ownership switches from Roman to a different person or to a consortium, the sanctions will go away.
Yes, as soon as the government agrees and we've got the owner, that's it. The sanctions are finished. Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And this is Nick Just Viola saying, I'm Indian, so I would love South Koreans after the Saudis, of course. Okay, good to see. And then let me see. I think I have a question for Showtime to answer here. Smash that like button, guys. Please listen to the Queen of the House. That would be good. And this is for you, Showtime. If you can answer this question, the follower says he's Toju TJ. I'm guessing Toju is Nigerian. I'm able to recognize that name because that's my birth country. Says, how long will it take to close the deal after Romana has made his choice? I know staff has alluded to this or has answered this question, but maybe a Showtime will answer it differently because Safana wants an answer from us.
Yeah, when it comes to the timetable, I mean, he has time until the end of the month to really decide whether or not who he chooses to sell to. I guess it's just going through the protocols right now. The Rams Group has the bidders. It's left for him to decide whether or not he picks the right people. For me, it boils down to the Americans. They're not it because they're so quick to. There's a saying that this is the loudest people in the room are usually not the honest ones, and these Americans are too loud. Nick Candy's too loud. He's too bold. He's talking all this good stuff, but at the end of the day, he'll get in, and then we'll see a whole nother side of him, just like we've seen from the Russians. Um, I'm not for him. I'm not for the British. I'm not for the Americans. I was more for the Turkish fella, but because the UK government noticed that Roman was going to sell it to him, and they pulled that plug and dropped the sanctions on him. So he's out of the race. So it's left to the Saudis, and it's left to the Koreans, but the Korean is under, I think, Nick Candy, custodian. So it's going to be hard to give it to the Koreans because Nick Candy is not it. I don't think he's worthy of running the club on a day to day. My only thing is a new owner. I want somebody that doesn't have to answer to somebody else. And I feel like the Saudis put us in the best position to not have to go through the channels of having to answer to another higher person. I feel like that is where the problem starts and stems from when we have to answer to other people to run the club, to make decisions on a day to day. Then like owner like Roman Abramovich, where he let the people inside the club that knows the day to day run the club, and he was just the breadwinner. He was just the guy that, okay, you want this player? Let me go talk to him, or I send my son to go and bring him in. Deals like that from the back. I don't need an owner that's gonna be out there in the open every single day talking nonsense and not producing anything. You want to redevelop the bridge? Okay, we had plans to redevelop the bridge, but you saw what the UK government did when we wanted to redevelop the bridge. So how they treated Abramovich. You saw how he took care of the NHS and helped the government out, and look what they did, stabbed him in the back, just so they can bring in one of their chosen ones, Nick Candy or one of these American brokes. I'm not for it. If I'm Roman Abramovich, I take my sweet time on choosing, and I don't let the UK government have a say into who I decide will come and run the club. Nor do I let them tell me I can't keep my money because it's my club, my money. At the end of the day, that is where the problem lies for Roman Abramovich. He's a billionaire. Billionaires and wealthy men don't like to be told how to achieve and spend their
Showtime.
money.
I want to let you continue, but I just wanted to see you. I can hear you clearly. No, I'm not complaining here. I wanted you to see this. They're saying you speak like your volume is in one on one.
Oh, I mean, it's 8 o'clock here, so
I
I
can't hear him
apologize.
clearly.
I understand. I can hear him clearly, but I think others in the chat I find it difficult to hear him better. I think it depends on where he is in his. He's probably at work too. But go ahead, brother. I just
Yeah,
wanted you to see the comment because it's funny though.
yeah. I mean, it's a methodical because at the end of the day, this has been the discussion for the past 2 weeks about who's taking over the club. So there's not much energy you can still put into it. It's just more so it's in the hands of those who are in the power or in the position to make the
Hmm.
decision. My just take is on it is just like they're using us, anybody that wants to take points away from us, or if the UEFA wants to take away fans from the matches, going to the matches. It's just a
Hmm.
publicity stunt, and you don't mix politics with sports. You don't mix race with sports. You don't
Honestly,
mix.
the aspect of you, here I see why I'm going to disagree with you. I love you, bro, but that statement, you don't mix politics with sports. I think it doesn't exist anymore. It's been
Yeah, it
thrown
doesn't exist
into,
anymore after this.
yeah,
Now, from
yeah.
now on, it's something that is going to be scrutinized in every situation, and
Hmm.
that's where problems are going to stem from. Is going to is going to
Can I
divide. Is going to divide
I'm
the
just let him
fan
finish. Let
base.
him finish.
Is going to divide fan. Is going to divide fan bases. Is going to have a negative impact on sports and people who
Mm,
watch sports. Um, as of me, to be honest, I stopped watching a couple of sports because it got too political rather than competitive. It got too political rather than competitive.
hmm.
That's a problem for me. But all in
Yeah,
all,
but
I'm for Abramovich. I'm for Abramovich through and through. Sad to see
mhm.
him go. I mean, if I'm him, I'll take my time and decide. I'm not letting no government tell me what I can do with my money and how
Mhm.
I run my club. Simple as that.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that input. Always, your voice is very calming, and I like that. Yeah, I want to say, welcome to LSC. I'll soon come to you in a bit, but quickly, this guy here from, yeah, Green Tough. I don't think I know who he is. Maybe I do. Is it too late to submit my bid? I just finished putting it together. A super package called a fried chicken consortium. Yes, I know where that's coming from. We don't want any owner from Kentucky. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to take any bid from, we're not going to accept any bid from the Green Turf or Global Finance channel. Everybody, jokes aside, this is Green Turf Oggs here with that input there. I recognize his presence. He's been a great friend. He's also helped the growth of this channel by almost promoting Chelsea Perspective live on his own channel. So go check out the Green Turf. Also check out Global Finance channel. Great input there. It is democracy there. Always an open line for fans to jump in and contribute. So, Stav, you wanted to say something, and go ahead and say it, but I have something that I want. Is it a question? I want LSG to answer this question. But LSG, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you.
Awesome. Is this a question you want to take, or you want me to ask you something else?
If Moshin Barak sanctioned.
Yeah, is Moshin Barak sanctioned? Because apparently he didn't put a bid in.
Okay. So I don't know how, it might be affected with the sanctions because, as far as I'm concerned, are they going to say he's a friend to Abramovich or what? Because there's no real evidence for that, So, and even if there is,
they're saying there's been a picture of both together.
Yeah, but
I think I saw that too. But go ahead.
Even at that, it doesn't matter. Billionaires mingle with each other all the time, so.
Donald Trump took a picture with Harvey Weinstein. Does that mean Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump are friends? No.
You see what I'm saying? So,
you just shocked me now, Showtime.
Yeah. So
go ahead, LSG.
Yeah. So basically, they are going to come up with any reason. They want an English owner for Chelsea. That's what it is. So I think why I'm on here today, because I'll be trying my best possible to try to influence, the sale any way or the other. I don't have a channel. I don't run anything. I've never, I don't call on any shows, but I support you guys. I'm just looking for a way, something that fans can do. So I'll be calling the Rain Group, I'll be calling them all the time, telling them they shouldn't sell to Americans. They should sell to SMG and all of that. The lady there, Kate O'Connor, every time I call her, she's telling me, because I want to speak to somebody at the upper level, So, but she told me something very important, and Sir Martin Broughton confirmed it this morning on TalkSport. She told me that at the end of the day, she thinks that Chelsea still is going to pick the bidder, the winning bid, all right? So, in that regard, and Sir Martin Broughton said it this morning that Marina will be the one to pick, So Rain Group, they are going to pass it back to Marina, and Marina will pick. So now my attention has now shifted from Rain Group, instead of calling them, to start calling Chelsea on who to pick, So we as fans have to call them, bombard them with calls and tell them who we want and who we don't want. Because once they get in, it's over. They will just put it, it's a ridiculous amount, £6 billion to buy Chelsea. Nobody can buy it. You understand? So the only time we have power right now is now. Because once they get in, it's going to be so difficult to get them out. Look at Manchester United, Glazers out. They're not going nowhere. Kroenke, they're not going nowhere. And with the sale of Chelsea, they already know that, there's a ridiculous amount of money. Imagine Man United on sale. Nobody can buy it, So we don't have to miss this opportunity. So I'm calling on everyone with influence, with fans. We see it, I don't trust the Chelsea supporters trust. I don't trust them. I'm calling on everyone, to basically do what you can to make sure we have the right owner. We can influence Marina. We may not be able to influence the government. We can influence Marina. We can influence Chelsea.
Yes, we can, with pressure, because Marina understands the fans matter. The fans, that wouldn't be Chelsea Football Club without the fans. So I think it makes sense if you can find that contact and reach out. I think they read it. Even if they don't read it, the subject line alone makes them understand the fans are interested on who becomes the new owner. That's important. It is democracy here, so that goes a long way.
Coach, can I just make a point? What sorry, what's his name? Who was talking now?
LSG.
LSG, yeah, you made a very good point. You know, about the Chelsea trust and everyone, all the fans, what matter. You know, who could make an influence, and they are. You know, all these Chelsea trust, pitch owners, everyone is, you know, is bombarding Chelsea at the moment. So don't think
And
they're not.
LSG, please do check the private chat. I think you have a message there. Go ahead, Staff.
Yeah.
I've just responded.
Okay, yeah, no. So I was saying, go ahead. What's his name? Nick Blue, but I think he's done. I want to come to you, Stav. Are you still there? Stav is gone.
I'm still here. Yeah, I just want to explain to LSD, you know, like Chelsea fans, you know, the ones who have any influence, they are making the voice heard. You know, you have to go into the website and you can see what they're saying. You know, everyone is trying, you know, everyone who can, they are doing something. They will try and get the best on us, and it's the best interest of the club. Yeah, like Pat Nevin told me yesterday. I was there with Pat Nevin, and he told me what I wanted to know. Like, that's all. I don't care what anyone says. All these reporters, media, they're all talking rubbish, and no one knows. You know, only people inside Chelsea know. And for Showtime, I did this. It was beautiful to see Louis with a friend.
All right. I think we lost Nick
I didn't
Blue
catch
there.
that. What did he say?
I think I lost him. I'm not sure. All right.
Big
So
up Nick
coming
Blue,
to
though.
you again, LSG. Are you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
If you can see the comment on the screen, it says no to Todd Boehly. He wants us in the Super League, and I think our fans we dread that a lot. We pressured our club to withdraw their involvement in that in the Super League when it nearly took off. I'm glad it didn't. What do you think about this comment here that Boehly he wants us in the Super League, and that to me clearly shows that his focus is profit. He probably will not prioritize the success of the club. He puts profits first. That's natural for every businessman. But in terms of Chelsea Football Club, you have to find a balance between the club becoming remaining successful and also you making a profit, getting your return on investment. What do you think about this comment on the screen, LSG?
Yeah. First of all, I don't like the guy. I don't like him one bit. You know, and his collaboration with the Swiss so-called billionaire, you know, I don't, you know, that guy just make me go yuck, you know, so I don't want them, all right? But in regards to this comment, wanting us in the Super League, I think he openly came out, you know, to say he doesn't want the Super League, you know, so I
Okay,
don't
so
think
he's denied he's denounced the Super League openly.
The Super League, yeah, openly. But even at that, I still don't want him. You know, I don't want him at all. The only way I can, because people always say, oh, he runs LA Dodgers and all of that. No, I think he has about 15% stake. That's a minority stake, you know. So he's not the one running the LA Dodgers. You know, that's
so he's not a majority owner.
No, hell no.
I
You
see.
can get this information online. You know, he's a minority stakeholder, so he doesn't have no track record, all right, of running his own club. That's why he's getting himself attached to this, you know, globalist mania called, you know, Wyss or whatever his name is, you know. So we don't want these people near our club one bit. We don't want them. And that Nick Candy guy is just looking for publicity. Look at him running around. He's a very dodgy guy, yeah. You know, I know people that are there with him, you know, in the property business in England, in London, you know. So he's a very dodgy guy. He's looking for opportunity, looking for fame. If someone like him gets hold of this club, our affairs is going to be discussed on TalkSport every morning, yeah, on CNN. Have you ever seen Abramovich be on TV or Marina be on TV? We move in
They hardly.
Thank you.
we move in silence. You understand? So these guys, they're already on TV. So our affair is going to be an open book. It's going to be an open book. I don't want that. You know?
Thank you very much, LSC. I appreciate you finding time to join us, and I hope you stay with us, and I hope you always find time to join us. And please, if you're watching, if you haven't, smash that like button and subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. And again, the link to the panel is in the chat, and I will also something here. Our blog, we have a blog. It's also chelseaperspective.com. I urge you to go check it out. We have some great articles there. Some are written by Dan Hill, who writes for Absolute Chelsea, and also Olaoluwa, who I know Mikhail knows very well. It was actually from Mikhail that I met Olaoluwa, and then it happened that Olaoluwa is from Nigeria, and in particular my own town. So we became friends, and I learned that he's been writing for other magazines, and then he now writes for Chelsea Perspective blog. So I urge you to go check it out. I have the link in the chat. I hope you can see it. Now, coming to you, before I come to you again, Showtime and Nick Blue, I want to breeze through the comments in the chat. I want to breeze through the comments in the chat. And this one here from Kakari says the appropriate London councils approved the Chelsea development plan. They were not blocked, so that's important. Yeah, because we should have just for some reason Roman backed out. He said it was due to unfavorable investment environment or something like that. If let me know if I mixed that up. Is a Saudi group still in the race?
Coach, can I just say, Roman, he approved everything was approved. He just put it on hold, and he's still on hold. The plans are on hold. So,
yes, that definitely.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, definitely. And again, what again? Well, I wanted to say something before Nick Blue came in. I was saying, so okay, is the Saudi group still in the race? There are conflicting reports out there. Some say they're still there. Some say they're not. Some say they were not able to put in a bid before the deadline. I don't know, but we'll find out soon. And Ricketts and Trump, that's another great point here. I understand what this brother means. And I have Mikhail says blue morning. Oh, Mikhail, blue morning to you. I think now it's blue noon, but I don't have the background for blue noon ready yet. Nice to always see you here. He says Bayrak did not bid, which brings to mind my argument here all the while. Bayrak for me from the start sounded like it was a publicity opportunity for him. And the truth remains, none of us knew anything about him until he started saying that he wanted to buy Chelsea and was overly vocal for me. That was suspicious to me. I never trusted him. At first, I wanted him to emerge the owner, given the reports that he knows Roman Abramovich. They've met before, and I checked. But that's by the way. I think for him, I think it was an opportunity to become even more popular than he is. Than he was, so to speak. I am okay. Let me see if I can see anything else here. Todd can be trusted because of Super League. It's still a concern. He may have come out openly and denied the Super League, denounced the Super League because he knew that could be a problem for him in the future. And this is Fashi Kenny. I am so happy it's Chelsea that will pick the choice. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think that makes a huge difference. Had everything been in the hands of the government, then we should be concerned. But the fact that we still have people there like Marina, Bruce Buck, and also Roman himself will be the people to make the final selection. I think that will make sure that we'll be left in good hands. So that has never been my concern. My concern has always been the restrictions that are affecting the club financially. And also, that sets a dangerous precedent. UEFA followed suit by saying that we'll play our home games behind closed doors. And now some rival clubs are calling for points deduction. And thank you, staff, for letting us know about that. So that's what I'm concerned about. And Fashi Kenny, if you haven't, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Right now, we have about 4 to 6 likes. Let's try and get it to 100 before the show ends. You guys are the best so far. The info I have seen here. Even Snake Matlaw don't have it. I appreciate that praise there. I take it. And thanks to some others like Phrase O, Just Viola, and Kakari, Stav, Nick Blue, LSG, Showtime. We all have great inputs, and we all agree that we can only speculate until the final decision is made. That's important. That's why we are objective here. And he says, liked and subscribed. Thank you very much, GUV1905. I appreciate that. That will go a long way for us. And this is Just Viola saying thank you in terms of to big up Nick Blue. Nick, I think maybe you know who this is. But welcome to Just a Perspective. Matt Law is lower than a snake balls. Okay, thank you very much for saying that. I am, you know what you mean. I don't know. I'm sorry. And I wanted to ask a question. Looking at all this, guys, let me look at my notes here. Looking at all this, guys, to you, I think I haven't asked you that question before, LSG. Who do you think will most likely emerge as the new owner?
Well, with the agenda against us, I think, actually, Marina is going to pick the owner, the new owner. But Chelsea is giving them criteria to meet, They have to tick up everything in that criteria. All right. But the government is another, a seller, in this arrangement, So because the government has to approve whatever Marina says, So we don't know whether the government is going to turn down Chelsea's choice. That's where the conundrum is. But with the agenda, against us, and with all these guys, we're having former MP like Sebastian Coe, we're having Frankenstein and all these guys, Matty Broughton, these are all conservative MPs. So you can see this is a conspiracy, first of all, to steal billions and billions of pounds from a Russian Jew, all right? Just because it's associated with someone, okay? So they sold this money, it's not going to have access to it, and now they're going to bring their friend to buy the property. Where have we seen this before? Where have we seen this before? We've seen this same pattern all over the world, with the so-called West, So this is what they are doing on a macro level, So Chelsea Football Club, So with that in mind, I cannot really say, the only bid I want is the Saudi one. And if anything, it will be the CMP Sports Group, but their involvement with Nikande extremely tainted that one for me, tainted that bid for me. So had it been Nikande wasn't involved, then I would have wholeheartedly supported the South Korean bid, because at least South Korea, everyone feels sorry for them, Who's going to, who are they bombing? Maybe North Korea. So they don't have much controversy in the world. Saudi Arabia, with the way Sleepy Joe is going in US, they are not picking a score. For more oil, they're not picking a score. Now they are turning to Iran. We don't know. The shit might happen. And Saudi Arabia becomes a pariah. If that happens, then we are going to be in another big trouble.
So overall, who do you think will emerge as the winner?
As going to be the new owner. I think it's the third one. I think it's the third one because it's rigged. The game is rigged already. I think it's the third one.
Which is what group?
The third Boehly one. Third Boehly.
Third Boehly group, and at least they don't have they're not. I think they're different from the Ricketts group, right?
They are different from the Ricketts group, but this one has Todd Boehly is a Tottenham fan. Yeah. Jonathan, whatever Stein is a Tottenham fan. He's not just a Tottenham fan. He's a dedicated, in his own words, he's a dedicated, Tottenham fan, true and true. All right.
That's the problem, DJ. That's the problem. Yeah, that won't happen. We won't agree. Chelsea won't agree. Roman won't agree, and no one's going to agree having a Tottenham fan. dedicated Tottenham fan as well. You know,
It's a full-time youth.
Yeah.
what was
So to I'll come back to you, Nick Blue. So to you, you still think the favorites will be the Todd Boehly group?
Not the favorite in terms of what Marina and Co will
I'm not
want.
saying that there's no favorite right now. There's no favorite. You
Yeah.
know,
All right.
but
All right.
you know,
I'm
we
saying
don't
it's going
want
to
any
be
Tottenham fan,
imposed.
and I'm sure you know they do listen to us fans. And no Chelsea fan wants a Tottenham owner. That's the worst. That's worse than That's worse than having the Saudi Arabians. You know,
And
Saudi
the
Arabia.
rivalry is really deep. It's very
Yeah, it's
difficult for
too
that to
deep.
happen.
It's still too
Yeah.
deep for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like I said,
So
we don't know.
Since,
Yeah, but
since
we don't really know who's going to be our owner right now. For sure, no one knows.
yeah, go
Only
ahead,
God
LSC,
knows.
quickly so that I can run through the
yeah,
chats again. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, since I've been going to the bridge, I've never heard us sing any song, to any other club like we say we hate Tottenham. Yeah, I've never seen we hate Liverpool. We hate, I've never seen that.
We have the
Tottenham,
song.
even if we are not playing them, even if we are playing a different team, is we hate Tottenham. Yeah, and you now want that guy to, no man, it's
No,
not
we
happening.
don't. Oh no.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So we don't want that guy, and hopefully those Marina and Bruce Bog and Romana knows they still know how deep the rivalry between Chelsea Football Club and Tottenham is. So I'm coming to you, Stav. You're back in the panel. You're back on the panel, Stav.
Yes.
Okay, quickly, I want you to answer this Mikhail question. I know he's joking, but I know you have a good answer to that. And then I'll ask you another question. He says that the Chelsea boss reached Borough.
Yeah, they flew there yesterday.
So they didn't take a bus after all. They flew. Okay, that's good to know. Do you have any other update for us, Stab, or do you have anything to add to what LG have said, Nick Blue and Showtime?
I want to add some context, right? Until, right, the thing with Roman and his visa was after the Salisbury poisonings, and they needed somebody who they deemed to be connected to Putin to make an example of. So they revoked his business visa. Okay, right? If they wanted to get rid of Chelsea, or if they had an agenda against Chelsea, or any of that stuff, right, it would have happened when they did that. Right, they could have done something against Chelsea. Then, right, this all this has come to a head, right? Without the invasion, none of this would be happening, right? But I don't know how many times I've got to say this, right? Up until Wednesday, right, the day before the sanctions were put in place, up until Wednesday, there was not going to be any sanctions. But again, I repeat, so everybody takes it in, right, that Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, had a video conference with Parliament, right, where he asked them for help and things like that, right? Now, and he thanked them because he said that they're the ones who are helping him the most, because they're really friendly with each other, right? So come Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening, right, Boris Johnson will have had a meeting with his foreign minister, Liz Truss, and the sports media and whatever arts and all this garbage, whatever the title is, right? Nadine Dorries, right? They'll have sat down, they will have decided that we need to quieten people down a bit because Labour, the opposition parties, whether it's Labour, Scottish Nationalist Party, Liberal Democrats, we're all having a go at the Conservatives about Russian funding, right? So to shut them up, they came up with this idiotic license and to sanction Roman, right? Let's get over this agenda thing, right? This only occurred 2 weeks ago. It's not like it's there's been an agenda against Chelsea. There's too much knee-jerk reactions to all this. Okay? Now, that's why it's happening. Then Roman became sanctioned by the EU, right? And they had to do it because the British did it, right? So they've got to show their hand as well. Okay? You have to remember the British also sanctioned Usmanov, who was at Everton. Now, let's just calm down with all this.
But they haven't done anything. They didn't do anything that affects Everton, the club.
I'm gonna object to that. I'm gonna object to that.
Go on then.
Saying,
Go ahead. Thank and Staff, thank you for allowing him to come in with his own opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
I understand the fact. I saw the speech with Zelensky and all of that, and after that, I know something was definitely going to happen. So you're absolutely right in that. So in terms of not having an agenda against Chelsea, I don't believe that one bit. Chris Bryant, the guy that brought up this and was pushing up for days, is a proud Liverpool fan, all right? And he knew exactly what he was doing, okay? So if the government was sensible, or if there was no agenda to push this through, or this agenda maybe not necessarily against Chelsea, in the parliament, all right? But I must tell you this. Most of these MPs, they all grew up supporting the football oligarchs. All right. That's what they did. All right. So they be supporting clubs like, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa at that time, So we came in and we changed the game. So they are not happy with that. So you cannot take away that human side of it, that fan side of it. All right. So now they are piling on it. Never allow, a disaster go to waste. Okay, so this was the opportunity to do it. So a sensible government would have come out and say, you know what, as Chris Brandt was pushing, another MP would come out and defend and say, Chelsea, football club, is a great traditional British institution that must be protected. Roman Abramovich must be separated from Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. All right? So
can I come in 1 second?
Everybody would say, hey, like that.
LSC, can I come in 1 second? You just made that is a beautiful point. And surprisingly to me, the British Parliament or the government overall, however you want to put it, did not come to that conclusion that Chelsea FC, how did you phrase it again? It's a British something.
It's a British institution, yeah.
A traditional British institution separated from the man and protect that institution. And they did not do that. That's the most surprising aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah,
punishing your own people.
Yeah, there should have been another MP because it's back and forth in Parliament. It's like a rap battle, all right, to shut that guy down, all right. So all he has to say, Chelsea Academy, Cobham has produced, talented footballers for Chelsea, for England, all right? Imagine, shamelessly, they are even calling Chelsea players. How shameful, how shameless are they, to do that? Why do you have to even call our players? That was raised by Abramovich money, all right? So talking about points deduction, are we going to say, because I heard them saying, unfair advantage. Unfair advantage. The time when Liverpool, when they were winning, they talk about their 19 titles and all that. When they were winning, Man U, when they were winning, what was their budget compared to Chelsea? What was their budget? Jamie Carragher talking about Chelsea pushing players here and there. Have they looked at Southampton? They destroyed that club, Southampton. How many players can you count that came from Southampton? Is it Virgil van Dijk? Is it Sadio Mane? Is it Lovren? Yeah? There are so many. Ada Lallana. Yeah? So many. They destroyed Southampton. Every time they see a talent coming in there, boom, they're going in there to take them. So we don't have nobody in the media to defend us. We don't have people in parliament to defend us. But I guarantee you, this cannot happen to the so-called football aristocrats that used to rule football in this country. It will not happen because there will be a member of parliament that will extend a broader angle of accommodation, to support their own club. That's a fact. All right. So there is a massive agenda, and it's being blown apart by rival fans. They don't even understand. They are helping the government to bring about xenophobic state in this country. All right. After what happened in the last 2 years with COVID restrictions and all that, people should be awake by now to know that since the government now have the power to do this, this now extends to individual private property. The government can just say, oh, you're spreading Russian misinformation or whatever, then therefore your bank account is seized. And people will say, okay, you were sanctioned,
Yeah.
and it become a
Yeah,
normal thing.
I agree with you. It sets a dangerous precedent. So start coming back to you. So you round up. We go through the chat, and I think you've talked about the point deduction. I don't know if Nick, have you talked about point deduction? So I can take it back to Stav again.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I wouldn't believe anything about that. Like Stav said, that's sort of rubbish.
But here's where the problem is, and I will let you continue.
They can't do that.
I know you don't believe it. I wouldn't believe it either.
They can't do that.
But the moment people start talking about it, it can make them feel like they're seeing us like we're not doing anything to support the cause.
Just the rivals,
go ahead.
You know, it's just the rivals putting more hate on us, and that's what they you know, they can't listen to other fans and go into deductors' points. No, that's rubbish. No way that will happen. No, I'm 100% sure. You know, that's all rival talk and agenda against Chelsea, like always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, coming to you, Showtime, you haven't talked about the point deduction aspect, have you? If you haven't, please let us know what you think on that.
Regarding the points deduction, it's baloney. If the EPL decides on deducting points based on something that has nothing to do with the sport, is ridiculous. You already put us in a predicament because you already sanctioned Abramovich. You already caused us to have to go through this dilemma. We can't sell tickets. How much more of an effect do you want to impact on us? The UK government already made a statement saying that they're not here to hurt us, but in the end, they are really going to hurt us because we can't generate funds. We have to worry about how our players are traveling instead of just knowing that they were getting on a plane. Some of us assumed that they were taking a bus. That's how bad it's getting. UK government is at fault. The Western world is at fault. These people we as sports fans, because now you said that we can't, that mixing politics and sports is inevitable now.
Mm-hmm.
Politically speaking, if we want to talk about why they sanction Roman, we should sanction the US, UK, and the US governments because they're the reason why this war is all started. You poke the bear and the bear is reacting. This is all on them. This is all on them. It's not on nobody else but them. This conflict is between big brother and little brother. You should let them handle the situation without having to interject in everybody's situation, which causes an uproar in the world. We can't even focus on the things that are necessary for us to be better in our day-to-day society when we have everything to talk about is Ukraine.
Yeah, and so
I'm sorry.
overall,
I'm sorry for those who are in the middle of this. You should have listened to your big brother when he told you don't invite them over. Now you are in big trouble with your parents, and this is the cause.
So overall, you thinking that the call to deduct points from Chelsea, you think it will not happen?
Baloney. If it happens, there should be a lynching. There should be a bonfire set on the EPL building. Honestly.
All right. Thank you for that great input. Soon I'll go to Stav. Let me just go through to the comments in the chat. This is DJ Stav saying all. I will say, everyone, don't rule out the Saudi media group. That is all I can say. And that's Just Viola here providing us with some update. He's saying, okay, a lot of people are asking about Saudi media group. Here is some info from around 14 hours back from Absolute Chelsea continued. And then she says, Saudi media bid for Chelsea is expected to have been made up by the deadline as they rated their offer on Friday to rent a group after encouragement to proceed. So she continued here again saying it was believed that the Premier League would have little reason to block any sale to the group, easing concerns regarding their bid. If you block them, how would you justify that given that Newcastle was recently sold to Saudis also? Continued, however, there were claims earlier this week that a 2.7 billion offer had already been made. So that shows that all we can do is just see it is best for us to see all we see in the media as speculations. We're not there at the table negotiating with anybody. None of us works with the rent group, which is we just have to see them all as speculations until the final decision is made, and then we get to know what's really the truth. I think that's it from the chart. Have become a political football. Yeah, it has indeed. And again, I asked the question, what happened to no mix in sports with politics? I think that's dead already, that phrase. If I lend my mate and tell him I don't want it back, that's up to me. Nothing to do with anyone else. I think that makes sense. I understand where you're coming from. Let me see, this is Kakari also saying, GUV 1905 said typical British and American government wants to stick their nose in and, well, I'll pay. We'll see what happens. And this is not politics. We want to talk about how it concerns our club. I think we should be talking about the prospective new owners and not keep talking about our supposed agenda against Chelsea, FT, etc., with regards to the sanctions. Thank you very much for highlighting that. So, Stav, let me come to you. Let me look at my notes here. So we're following a structure here that will be very helpful. So, Stav, let me ask you this question. I know you know how when we've been through a similar situation in the past, I think you and Bobby talked about that on the show a few days ago. We survived it, and you understand the structure, you understand the financial aspect also. I want to ask you, what type of owner or owners, I think owners probably because they're all consortiums, nobody is bidding as an individual. What type of owners should we be looking for that will, be good for us?
Oh, God. Listen, I have been listening for the last half hour, whatever you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really losing the will to live here. I feel like going and getting some paper and some crayons and just drawing some silly pictures because I'm sorry, listen, this government, right, has been in power for 12 years. Okay? Let's get that straight now. Boris Johnson has been, him who I'm not allowed to mention, has been in power for over 2 years. Okay? Until I explained the reasoning why his license, his visa was revoked, Roman's visa was revoked, right? It was a response to the Salisbury poisonings. Okay? That then stopped the continuation of the stadium. Why would he spend more money on a stadium when the country wasn't making him welcome? The stadium plans, I'm going to put some context and do as much as I can in this little segment, right? The stadium plans were approved, they went through, even the mayor, Sadiq Khan, right, approved them, and that guy is important because there was opposition to the stadium, but he cleared it all, right? Chris Bryant is a member of the opposition party, Labour, right? He's an attention seeker, a publicity seeker, right? Likes being on TV. You're all making too much out of an agenda. There is no agenda. The point you are all missing is that I've already told you, right? And your friend there mentioned Zelensky being in front of the parliament, right? It then put the pressure on Boris Johnson with all the opposition parties having a go about the oligarchs, right? Even though he's taking money from oligarchs himself, right? They needed a high-profile public figure to sanction, to shut people up. It also provides a deflection from the inadequacies and ineptitude of government, right? Now, let's get out of this agenda BS, right? Because I'm getting a bit bored with it. I can't stand the Conservatives. I can't stand Boris Johnson, right?
Okay, stop
I'm a
coming to the
socialist.
question. I think this is a topic for another day. We're
No,
here to
no, no,
talk
no,
about
no,
the
no. You open the
prospective new
door.
owners.
You
Stop, stop.
no, hang on a minute. You opened the door, right? And you allowed the door to be kicked open and for the continuation. We are discussing things that are not relevant. There is no agenda directed at Chelsea Football Club.
Okay, point
Roman
made.
is being used as a tool, right?
Point made, yes.
Okay, whatever. Right,
Point
okay,
made.
carry on. Carry on
Yeah,
with
the question I asked you, what type of owner should we be praying for? For those of us that believe in higher power or higher powers, what type of owner should we be praying for or will be good for us as Chelsea Football Club? What type of owner that is you go ahead. It's your question. That was the question I asked you. Okay, I think Stav is gone. Okay, that's fine by me. I'll come to you, Nick Blue. What type of owner should we be praying for? That would be good for our club.
Well, the best possible owner, he ain't going to happen because he's gone. And that was a Roman. No one can do what Roman
Yeah, we've
done.
established that. Romana
Yeah, we're
is
established. I
gone.
know. Yeah,
But
the
what
best
type of owner
possible owner
should we
for
be
me.
praying for? That would be good for
Yeah, I
us.
see what you're saying. The best possible owner for me is to be a football fan, preferably a Chelsea fan, and to rebuild Stamford Bridge. The plans are there. I want him to go ahead and do what Roman wanted to do, and of course carry on with Corbyn, the ladies football. We want someone who just just run things as they are. Really, we don't need major changes, and we don't need anyone an owner coming in and wants to build a new stadium somewhere in Southwest London or North London or whatever. That's what we don't want. And someone who's a little bit like Roman, really. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer there. And quickly, I think we lost DJ again, and I'll come back to start with the question on the screen. Coming to you, Showtime. What type of owner should we be looking for? Or let me say, you heard what Nick Blue say, and we have about I don't know how many the numbers of the consortium we have are vying to become the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. Do we have all those qualities that Nick Blue just mentioned in all the groups? Or do you think some of them lack that?
Look, it's not even the question. It shouldn't be what type of owner I'll be looking for, because at the end of the day, whoever is coming in is not going to be it's owners, because they will have somebody to answer to. It's more than one.
Yeah, so
owner.
good. Thank you for
So-
rephrasing that. So, what type of owners should we be praying for, or consortium as a group? That consortium covers them all. And Nick Blue have mentioned all the qualities he thinks that we should be looking for in the owners. So my question to you is that do we have that quality in each of the groups? Because they come in as groups.
Honestly, we already seen that the Americans and the British don't have the qualities, because they're so out in the open about what they're bidding and what they're doing or what their plans are for the future of Chelsea. So that takes them out of it already, because we as a club, we know that privacy is key. We do things on the back end and behind closed doors and get things done. In 20 years, we have been successful with a blueprint of Roman Abramovich, Marina Granovskaya, Bruce Buck, and all the Chelsea trustees. Get things done without being loud. Get things done in closed doors and win. Bring in trophies and bring in revenue and be the best and make our and look, our academy is doing well. Our women's club is doing well. It's not just the men's team. So we already know that the qualities of these British brokes, these Western brokes, they're not favorable, because they're already too loud for us. That's not what we need. In my eyes, you don't hear the Saudis talk too much. They let the people that they're the blueprint of what Abramovich has laid out. They work behind closed doors. They have somebody who's the point man or the spokesperson for the club, and they go about their business. Simple as that. I think that is the best bet for us, is the Saudis. Bring in the oil money, bring in the Arab money, if you want to call that, because that's just all over the States. And let's get it going. I mean, sign Rudiger, give him an extension, keep Aspie for one more season, and bring in the targets Tuchel wants. Because at the end of the day, we need owners, or we need our owners to our owners to understand that we're a club that want trophies. We don't
Mm-hmm.
care about the revenue aspect, but we want to win, to
Yeah.
continue winning and win Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues like we'll do
Mm-hmm.
this year. Simple as that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Showtime.
Coming
One
to
minute,
you.
coach.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
Just yeah, just what 2 words. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Showtime, and the other thing is, just to continue with, with Roman's plans, and I'm sure Roman is going to be looking at these bids very carefully. So I trust them to get the right owner. And then
We need actually,
by this time next week, we should have a new owner.
yeah,
Anytime
we
next
need,
week.
Okay.
big up Nick
That's
Blue.
that's, that's good to hear. Let me say something. And DJ, if you can hear me, I've added you, I think 3 times now. But I don't know, for some reason it keeps kicking you out because I really want your opinion. I know you understand the situation very well. There's no how you will. I hear sounds whenever somebody tries to join the panel, and especially when it's you. And the panel can be on my witness. I recognize when you join, but whenever I come to you with a question, you're already out. So I've been looking to see you come again. I've been seeing you, and I've added you on occasions. So for some reason, it keeps kicking you out. Coming to you quickly, LSG. You've heard what everybody said. GU, for instance, GUV 1905 says we want an owner that has the best interest of the club, and fans never forget Mr. A. We will never. And he continued and says, continue romance legacy and create their own. That's a big thing. And he says a big up Couch. And again, it is Coachila, not Couch. If Couch Critic is in the chat, I'm not sure. My name is Coachila or Coach, not Couch. And I'm going to blame that on Nick Blue. It's your fault. So LSC, haven't seen all these inputs from these great panelists and people in the chat saying what they want from the new owners.
I got your name right, Coachila. Coach.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. So
I know I got
LS,
it wrong one time, but they shouldn't take it that far.
okay.
I only said it wrong one time.
So LSC, given the input from Nick Blue, Showtime, and then GUV 1905, who've all said what they want in a new owner. Do you see the qualities in these groups?
I think, Thomas Tuchel said it the best. I hope they love to win. Winning, that is the most important thing.
That's a great point right there.
So that was very brilliant of Tuchel to say. I hope they love to win. Because so winning is a fundamental, DNA, of our club. So we know that, and we don't want anyone to take us down. So, but what I'm actually saying is this, from the beat from Todd Boehly and Co. So I saw a post they put on Twitter, and they were already saying things like Boehly is the color, that they're trying to corrupt the name Boehly to blue, you understand? And in their bid, I heard somewhere that they shouldn't reference Roman Abramovich for a very long period of time. Yeah, when the takeover happens. How can you say that? How can you say that? So there's no way we are going to stop singing Roman Abramovich's name, in that stadium. Everywhere we go, we don't care what these people do. I don't care where they gave us the best player, the best strikers, for the next 5-10 years, we'll still be singing Roman Abramovich's name. Oh yeah, maybe 15 years time, whatever, before we can acknowledge them. So they have to understand that.
We'll be singing his name forever, man. He's a true legend, and we will have a statue outside the bridge for him one day. Yeah, you're right.
So go ahead, LSC.
Yeah. So the owner we want is someone that will be committed to winning, someone that is going to, focus on the academy, and someone that is going to be committed to recruiting, talent from all over the world. I want talent to be recruited from South America, especially because those guys, there are some dead talents over there, So I want someone that will, be capable in doing that, support the women's team, keep them, a step above what Roma have already done. Don't just try to
So
say,
overall, do you think this whole group, all of them, that is individually, do you think they all have these qualities?
the bid that I think has the quality to do so, is the one with the Hannah lady, the CMP Sports Group, because I think they're based in Fulham Road, and they understand the club, and I think they will have better relationship with the neighbors, when it comes to redevelopment of Stamford Bridge, because those people it's going to be a permission saga all over again, So these are the things, So there is no seamless movement of Chelsea. Anytime we want to do anything, there's always constant opposition. So with that company being there, operating there for ages, so I believe they will have established relationships with the neighbors, with the council, and things may be easier for them. So that's one group, but the involvement of Nikande, makes it, somehow for me. So I don't know how to feel about it with Nikande being involved.
All
Then
right,
the other
thank you.
group, the other choice would be the SMG, the Saudi Media Group. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking some time to answer that. To me, I think, like you said, but I want to ask you a counter question here. The group you said with the women, I think you called a woman's name, and do they have the financial, are they financially strong enough to, take on the project?
On her own, she's what, about 10 billion? Yeah.
Oh,
And,
that answers the question. But she's not doing it alone, so there's no way. Maybe.
And the fund she's partnering with, they are worth 400 and something billion. You see that? So there's a lot of money over there.
Okay, so that's not going to be an issue. Okay, and that shows also diversity. I think we want that. I think that Chelsea is known for. Include that is Chelsea are very, very inclusive in whatever they do or they like to. I think Chelsea was one of the first Premier League club to only have a female medical staff. Game days or so. I don't know how to phrase it. What's her name again? I don't recall her name. But that's by the way.
Eva Canero.
Eva Canero, yeah. So thank you very much for that great input. So, Stav, this question comes to you, and I think I have a very important question that I'll ask us all. This is just Viola. She says, "I have a question. If it isn't speculation, why would Premier League have any reason to block the sale to the Saudi media group? They allowed Newcastle to be sold through the fund to the Saudi government. So why?" That question is for you. And let's try. I know it's easy because of the way the question is structured. It's easy to take the path of, political or, narratives. But let's try and keep it to how it affects our club. Go ahead, Stav.
Well, I'm actually trying to avoid political narratives as it happens.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why I dropped out, because I don't want to be overdoing the political aspect of things. Right.
If you want me to read the question again, I know you use your phone.
No, the Premier League don't have a problem.
Okay.
Right? They don't have a problem with SMG. The government don't have a problem with SMG. Right? It's the Newcastle owners who have voiced reservations. That's the report I saw. Right? Now, they obviously they're coming to the Premier League to improve their image. Okay, that's what the Newcastle owners are here for, right? They don't care about Newcastle United, right? They've come to improve their image. Now, they obviously don't like another Saudi group coming in, right? Taking on an already successful club, maintaining that success, so they don't get the publicity that they want to get, right? To improve their image. So it's not the Premier League. The reports I've read, the Premier League don't have an issue. They don't care, and because they can't turn around now and having allowed them to come in at Newcastle, and the Qataris and various other Arab groups, right? So it's not an issue, right? But if Newcastle, right, which is debatable, can get support for their vision or their view, then there would be a possibility. But who's going to support Newcastle? Right? Most people didn't want them anyway. Right? They were rejected the first time. It took them 2 years to get in. So it's not that big an issue at the moment. Right? The thing with the points deduction shouldn't be an issue because there are numerous owners who've pumped money in. So if Man City decides they want to leave and sell the club, are they going to take their money back? No, they're selling the club, they're getting the money. Roman's been penalised by not being allowed to take the money from the club. They haven't got a leg to stand on, right, with this issue, because it's the government who are penalising him. So he has no choice. He's not allowed to take the money back because the government have also said he's not allowed to take the money that is allegedly owed to him by Chelsea or the profits. So the government have put that restriction on him anyway. So if Roman now wants to turn around and say, I want the 1.5 billion Chelsea owe me, he can't have it. That's another of the government's conditions. He can't make a single penny. So neither UEFA, right, with this FFP nonsense, nor the Premier League can do anything, right?
Okay.
It's just newspapers and media speculating.
Okay. So overall, you're saying they cannot do anything to stop the Saudis if they're serious.
They would look stupid, wouldn't they? They would look stupid.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Right?
So I'm going to run through the chat again. Thank you very much, Stav. That's why I
Can
always...
I just say something about owners? Yeah. SMG I'm okay with. Right? I'm okay with SMG if they put a bid in. And contrary to everyone else, I'm okay with the Koreans coming in, right? Even with Nick Candy. Nick Candy, yep, he's a Tory donor, right? He votes Conservative, right? Seb Coe, who's involved with the Matthew Broughton bid, is a former Tory MP, right? Anybody who's got money would vote Tory anyway and likely fund the Tory party, right? Let's just forget about this conspiracy theory that you can't trust Nick Candy. Right. Ultimately, the Chelsea fan and a season ticket holder. Right?
And I'll come to that. I have a counter question for you for Nick Candy. I'll come to that in a bit. I'll breeze through the comments in in the chat because this is an interactive show. The fans drive the conversation 50% of the time. And I want to also ask everybody in the chat, be patient. We'll get to your question. As long as if you have any question for us, we'll try to answer it. And please, again, take the time to tell us where you're watching from. That means a lot from us. And we've answered this question, and we have this. This is one that has the... Okay, we've gone through that. And just Viola also said, I would like someone like Roman. And this is a great comment. The part of it that I like the most, it says, I would like someone like Roman plus more. The foundation is there. The legacy is there. Just build on it. I love that. You don't just have to be like Roman. You have to strive to be better, to do better than Roman. And I believe there's still room for improvement. If the club wasn't run perfectly, there are areas I believe that we can do better, maybe to have a sustained period of success, to dominate for a while and not just have patches of success here and there. I think we can have that is dominate the Premier League for a while if we change these things a bit. But that's a discussion for another day. So just Viola, thank you for that great contribution there. And then Mikhail says our stadium rebuild is huge. That's important. It helps the revenue. New owners must find a way to do it without affecting the football, COVID, and ambition. I think that makes perfect sense. Great comment there. And Coachila, sorry. Yeah, thank you. No problem, bro. Giza, I appreciate that. That reminds me of David Luiz. I love you, GUV 1905. Everybody makes that mistake. It's not just your fault. So thank you for correcting that. Great tagline. Coach, not cut. I expected you to say something, Mikhail. Don't poke the Coachila, yes. And this brother here says Saudi on Nick Candy. We're not sure until the final decision is made. We get to know. We can only speculate. We're not at the table with those that are making the decision. And Roy, if you haven't, please hit that like button. We're trying to reach 100 today by the end of the show, but we have 49. That's not bad. You can add to that if you haven't. And what other comment do we have here? If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and also like the video. And then Kakari says, don't think all British beaters should be dismissed as just loud and assume they will not want a winning mentality, especially those that are Chelsea fans, as Matthew had great intentions. So that's good to see. And Jeff E. Obona E, my brother, how are you? Kedu Kai Melo. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea is my heartbeat, mine also, and that you can say the same for everybody here on the panel and in the chat. Good to see you here. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Eva Caniero, yes, that's her name. Thank you very much. And Jeff says, whosoever that come in has to do very well. That's we're all concerned about that. And Utita said, breaking Todd Boehly improved his bid to buy Chelsea just minutes before the Friday night deadline. After Rain had won, that bids could be treated as best and final. Wow. Yeah, so that's good to see there. LSG, what do you think about this?
See, apart from, I've never been to a protest in my life, apart from the Super League protest, So, so I watched Monster, and it was talking about protest and all of that. And I don't live very far from Fulham, So, I swear down here, if they announce Todd Boehly, because from next week we are going to start saying, maybe a leak, to the, because it's good, instead of 3 bids, it's going to be 4 bids, yeah? They're going to wither all the bids to 4, all right? So, but next week, if we even see any of these guys, any mention of them, honestly, I'm going there. I'm going there, bro. I'm going there because we have to get them out now. We have to let them know now, yeah, who we don't want. So, people, you said earlier on, you don't know whether it's time for protest now and all of that. Because any protest now, people will assume is, we are against Ukraine and all of that.
Yeah,
but this protest will be
ill-timed.
Yeah, ill-timed. But this very one will be very, very well-timed. Yeah, and it will be because we don't want. There will be a specific reason for it, and that's for the new owner. We don't want the owner. We don't want this new owner. Not 10 years later, Glazers out or Kroenke out. We have to get rid of them from the very beginning, especially the ones involved with Tottenham Farm, so people will know the reasons for it. Okay, so we don't want a dedicated Tottenham fan in our board. We don't want that at all. So as soon as that is announced and we know that they are leading the race, I swear down, I'm going there.
Okay, let me add great input right there. We don't want a Tottenham fan, but I have to ask a question. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody before that I know that said, okay, they changed their allegiance from one club to the other. I've seen people burn shirts when they're angry that their club has done something that they don't like, but they end up sticking with the club. Stav, let me ask you this question quickly. Is there that possibility that if Todd Boehly and his group or his spend $1 billion to buy Chelsea, that he will most definitely start supporting Chelsea and not Tottenham? And these are some of the big, that is, they have one of the biggest rivalry in British football, 2 London clubs. Is it possible, Stav, that Boehly will start supporting Chelsea and stop supporting Tottenham should become successful in buying Chelsea?
Is Boehly a Tottenham fan?
Yeah.
Is it Boehly? Was it Boehly you're talking LSG? Sorry, we're hearing some background noise from somewhere here. LSG, are you still there?
Yeah.
I think it was coming from LSG. So, was he? Did I? Maybe I misquote him. Did he say something about Boehly being a Tottenham fan? Brian?
Goldstein is the Tottenham fan.
But he's in, okay, he's in the group, in the Boehly group.
Yeah, and he's going to be a non-executive, so he's not going to have any money in it anyway.
Oh, so to you, he's not he's not making financial contribution to the group.
No, he's not going to have a say in it anyway. And the other non-executive is the woman who's a Chelsea fan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who I've already mentioned.
Okay. How about you?
It's not of a major relevance as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
I don't want
them.
I don't want them because I don't want Americans. Right?
Okay. So how about you? Nick Blue, any concerns about this comment? The last comment from LSC.
So basically,
no, I think I'm asking LSC. I'm asking Nick Blue about what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, well, about the new owner again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is the group, the Boehly group, which they just improved their bid before that is the deadline. And LSC just mentioned that they have in their group a Tottenham fan. But that now staff already said. Remember, staff said that he doesn't care that much about the man because it doesn't look like he's going to make financial contributions in the group. He's going to be a member of the board or something like that. But you go ahead.
If he's well, as long as he's not on the top of that group, if he's in the background, we won't hear much of him. So, if they do like they're saying that they're gonna do, it's good. But I just have this thing with the Tottenham fan. Yeah, it's very hard.
Okay, go ahead.
It's very
Showtime. Before you continue, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I was just saying, if it's in the back and we don't see him, we don't hear him. All right, I agree. We can, because they sound good. Everything else sounds good. The only thing is the Tottenham fan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and before I continue, I'd like to everybody that's watching, ask everybody that's watching to please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That helps us. That will go a long way to help us, trigger the algorithm to push because the Blue Money Show is a daily show. And Saturdays we have marathon shows. I think we go for up to 3 hours until I think, but we will be rounding up soon. I want to ask Showtime, what do you think about that concern that LSC raised concerning the Boehly group? It doesn't look like we still have Showtime here. But staff, this is Just Viola saying thank you for answering my question, staff. Then we have Uchiha says he's watching from New York, my fellow American. Nice to see you here, and thank you for always supporting the channel. Watching from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Good to see you here. GUV 1905. Thank you. I appreciate your support. I am Freetown, Sierra Leone. Thank you for being here. Obunaya E. I'm sure you're Nigerian because that name sounds familiar. Nice to see you, and I hope you've liked the video and subscribed. And hello, lads. Says Glenn. Glenn, how are you doing today? Nice to see you back again, joining the show. And Speculation FC. Okay, thank you, Mikhail. And this is from Nigeria. I think I will prefer the Saudis and the Kandi Consortium. They are the only group I want. I don't want the Americans. Good to see you, Kenny from Nigeria, and nice to see you. I hope you have subscribed already. And Abu Yao Rafael, hello. I'm from Ghana, and I please know when whatever we update you as the news comes out immediately. I can assure you that this is one of the first places you will hear about it. And I hope you've liked the video and also subscribed. So Kakari here says, like Stav, avoiding politics, and I have a post-grad diploma in international politics, Russian ideology, etc., the Russian blood on my father's side. and being around the USSR in 1907, both Russia and Ukraine. Thank you very much for mentioning that. Yes, we should, as much as we can, avoid politics and keep it strictly about our club. Not no to Todd Boehly. I understand your concern. Unfortunately, we're not at the table making those decisions. Hopefully, they will be hearing our voices and knowing the fans don't want the Boehly consortium. Boehly partner Ghostin, a sports fan. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that also. Yeah, Boehly is a sports fan. Yep. So here again we have both Boehly and Ghostin. Okay, DJ Star 17 here. Let me read his comment since he's not able to join the panel due to some technical issue. I don't know why, but I'd like to have him on. If the UK government and the FA Premier will be okay with SMG, how can Newcastle stop? Okay, won't be okay. How can Newcastle stop this? And have nothing to do with Newcastle. Also, the fact guy is a Chelsea. Is a Chelsea fan as well. Surely there should be not there. There shouldn't be an issue. Thank you for also clarifying that. When the news broke out, Boehly, they said he's a sports fan. It's conflicting. Boehly's strengths are the people surrounding him. I think that makes another sense. I think that's why he's picking people that the Chelsea fans won't have a problem with, but I don't think that will help him. Hopefully he doesn't, no issues. Okay, I understood that. DJ Stav, I feel there will be backlash with Saudi if SMG go in for Chelsea, while MBS himself is involved with Newcastle. It is a bad look for SMG and conflicts of interest too. They have sports in the US too. Sure, it is the football club, so probably people could be mistaking the sports of the US. I think the sports here in the US is a basketball club. I think maybe people could be mixing things up. Okay, this is just a conversation between those in the chat. Okay, now let me see if you have anything here. Big up, bro. Had Rudiger signed for Juventus. Is it true? I don't think it is true. Like Staff said before, he might have promised Juventus that he will sign with them. Should Chelsea now, in the end, not able to renew his contract due to the restrictions? Staff mentioned that already. And Jeff E. Obona says, I'm new here, but I love what you're doing, bro. Keep it up. Thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate that encouragement. Coachila, covering all the angles from the Situation Room. Coach, do you expect a surprise winner for Chelsea beating? That's a possibility. Forget the speculations. We can only speculate. Like I've said before, we're not at the table making the decisions. But I'm going to ask you this. Showtime, are you still there with us? It's looking like we've lost a Showtime. But Nick Blue, let me ask you this. Are you expecting a surprise winner for the beating?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to expect because it could be anyone. So, it could be anyone. Yeah, I was saying before the Saudis, they're the best, really, but we still could have problems with them later on. So we don't know. Mm-hmm. Very hard for us to see who we're going to finally get. You can, no one can say exactly, for sure. Right now, we can't say. Mm-hmm. All I know is whoever we're going to get should be good because, otherwise Roman won't approve him or approve them. Mm-hmm. That's what we know right now.
Mm-hmm. So before I go to LSG, Stav, are you expecting any surprise winner?
I don't have any clue. I just want to. Can I just add one thing, right? Back in 2018,
just a minute, if it would take you a minute to add that quickly, because we'll be rounded up. So go ahead.
Back in 2018, Roman approached business contacts in the Far East, which would include China, Korea, etc., about investing 500 million when he was trying to do the stadium. It didn't happen. So I'm just wondering if these Koreans are people Roman already knows, and if they are. Then if they are, that's fine by me.
That makes sense. So probably let me say this, you indirectly just said possibly the Koreans could emerge the winner and I heard that you said that we already learned that they're teaming up with Nick Candy. That's a possibility. So LSG, are you expecting any surprise winners?
Yeah, if any surprise winner is definitely going to be the CNSP P-Sport, the Korean, So
Uh-huh.
I expect them, because the way they came in and all of that. Actually, yeah, this might sound very funny to people, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when this whole bid was going on, I don't know if it's a dream, if I was just daydreaming or something. But I
Mm-hmm.
imagine a woman, yeah, coming in. So, but I was thinking, are there female billionaires? How many female billionaires do we have? And stuff like that. I just have a brief thought of it, So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Then all of a sudden, I came on Twitter. I saw, this woman, on Twitter. I saw her. I saw, the news going around. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, 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 this is weird. This is crazy. So it might just end up, being them, it might end up being them, So
Mm. So that's a
that's
possibility.
what I
So
think. Yeah.
and thank you, Stab. Thank you very much for bringing up that comment that Roman reached out to investors in that country, in that part of the world. Were you saying something, LSG?
Yeah. So I was saying, in addition to, what others have already said, regarding the Tottenham fans. Todd Boehly is actually a Tottenham supporter, not a Spurs in America.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs fan, England Spurs fan. Okay. So that means we're having two Tottenham fans coming together our club. Do you know the level of banter that we are going to be getting week in, week out? We own your club,
Mm-hmm.
we own your club,
That's
right?
the seeing things from a fan's perspective.
Exactly. We are going to get lambasted every day. So, and we don't even know because one of them is a radical. The other one, maybe Todd
Mm-hmm.
Boehly, doesn't really know more about football and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
the Jonathan Gunstein, is a radical Tottenham fan. So he's not going to be happy to see, Tottenham lose, So we don't want him. No.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much
So,
for that input. That right there. So with regards to the Rudiger comment, just Viola, I think I missed one here. Just Viola said Fabrizio Romano reported the Rudiger news. Don't know if it is true. No, Rudiger he has not, according to Nizar latest tweet. So he hasn't agreed contracts. He hasn't agreed to move to Juventus. Rudy
That's
will say,
sorry.
boys, he loves us. That's his. He loves us, but that's not guaranteed. The situation might be the current situation that we're in right now, and hopefully, if that doesn't earn if he stays in place till the summer, then he will most definitely leave. But if by I think May, we get a new owner, I think he will make stay. Stav, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, the story originated from one of the Italian newspapers. Mr.
Yeah.
Romano just likes to steal things from other places and
Okay.
project them as his own on Twitter.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much for saying that. Rudy will stay, boys. He loves us, but his love, like I've explained, that will mean nothing if there's a restriction in place that will not allow us to extend his contract. The Saudis bid for us. No news about them today. We're not sure. There are conflicting reports. Some say they haven't. Some say they have. We're not sure yet. And again, we've learned from the fact that it was rumored last week or so that they already had a bid in. It shows us that we should just see the whole thing we see in the media as speculations. We'll find out who will emerge the winner after the final decision is made. And by Monday, we'll have a good idea who that may be, but not definite. If it wasn't for the comments, the Ricketts would be my first choice. Ken has 2 times Roman's net worth. Also, like the Nick and the Korean consortium, they are currently my first pick. Yeah, I think I understand your point, but that comment changes a whole lot. And I think Ken himself, who isn't part of the family, if I was Ken, the moment that statement came out, was made public, I would be looking to team up with other people because it will be extremely difficult for Chelsea Football Club to let the Ricketts family buy the club. I think that Islamophobia stuff goes against everything that Chelsea stands for. Chelsea fights, campaigns against anti-Semitism. Chelsea campaigns against discrimination of all sorts. So I think that will most definitely not be helpful for the Ricketts family and their group. But great input right there. Let me see how quickly I can get through this. I just read news that Ricketts and Griffin win the bid. I don't believe that. I don't think so. I don't think that's possible, and I've given you the reason why I think so. And amen. If you haven't, please click on that like button and also subscribe to the channel. And I see my brother here, D. Ludishenko, who is Ukrainian and currently in Ukraine, I've heard. And I remember, brother, we are praying for you, and I will always remember you in my prayers. And hopefully the situation changes sooner than later, because the more it continues, everyday lives are lost, and that's not a good situation. So big up to you, and glad to see that you're doing well, and hopefully everybody, your family and everybody you know are doing well, and we hope that the situation comes to an end as soon as possible. It will be good, do the world some good. DJ says Tony Rudiger has been approached by more than 3 clubs in the last week, including Juventus. Staff has wanted me not to call it Juventus, Juventus, who are pushing as they are looking for a new centre back, but he has still no full agreement with any club. Yes, I love that. He respects Chelsea. He loves Chelsea. But like I've established, his love for Chelsea will mean nothing if there are restrictions in place come summer that will not allow us to extend his contract. Big up Lodishenko. This is Fabrizio's tweet. Okay, thank you. Just Viola says, I want the South Koreans because they are footballing nation. Remember that World Cup held in Japan and South Korea. They made it to the semifinals. I think they did on the the caretaker coach for Chelsea Football Club then, Hiddink. I think they did. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Glenn says, I think he's just waiting to see how things turn out. Could get a new contract after all, possibly. I am getting tired. Yeah. And Uchika says, if Americans buy us, we are done for in the long run. That's scary too. What's all this hate on American owners? Man United spent a lot, and I mean a lot. And look at Liverpool now. Don't tell me it's bad. I think it's just there's some measure of. Let's talk about this a bit. Then I'll ask a question about Nick Candy. There's something I wanted to say about Nick Candy. Let's talk about this. I think to me it's some measure of stereotype. I mean, and Americans, they haven't been bad for Manchester United. The truth is just that the spending, they weren't strategic in their spending. They spent carelessly. They spent the spendings didn't solve the problems they had at the club. So it's not like the American owners that own Manchester United are bad. Any thoughts from any of you on the panel?
Yeah, the spending wasn't by them, was it?
No, it wasn't them. And they supported the club. It's just that those in charge were just wasteful. Go ahead.
It was by the idiot who was the chief executive officer. I can't remember his name. I should be able to remember it, but I can't. So it's neither they weren't doing the spending. It's not like they've been shy buying players, because they have bought players. They've got the most expensively assembled squad in the Premier League, even more expensive than Man City. Man City, they buy a lot of players, but they don't pay premium fees until they got Grealish. That's their record. So they tend to spend around between 40 to 50, whereas other clubs have spent more. And I just say something about Candy, right?
No, I'll come to you. I'll ask that question, then you can come in. You can talk about it at the same time. So, yeah, trust me. Coming to you, Nick Blue. Why so hate? And I think Iswara, I want to say thank you so much for this great comment here. I'm an American, and believe me, I don't want the Americans we have lined up. We have a part of the groups that are vying out for the ownership of Chelsea Football Club. I don't want any of them to be successful for some reasons, because I've read none of them look like they're into football before. As the Americans haven't really done bad as owner of some clubs in the Premier League. It's just that the spendings weren't strategic. What do you have to say about that, Nick?
Yeah, it's very hard with this American. No one wants the Americans. You know, I understand that. Do I really? You know, we see what's happened with Arsenal and United. You know, and Liverpool to an extent, even. As you know, they're doing all right now. But when they won't be doing fine when the main players are gone. So yeah, it's like I said before. We just have to trust on Roman to get the right owner. But I can't see him choosing these Americans. I'll be surprised. You know.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. The fact that they don't have experience in running football clubs, but they have experience. Some, I think, who I'm saying have experience running a sports team. But go ahead.
I know that's different, completely different. It's different running a baseball team than a Chelsea Football Club. It's not the same, is it? Really?
But can you answer this question directly, Nick? Would you say the American owners in the Premier League have done anything wrong? They've done well.
Yep.
Liverpool has American owners.
Yeah, but they done well for their pockets. They haven't done well for Arsenal fans, especially, and for Liverpool, all right, leave them, and Man United. Look at the set. You know, because
go ahead.
They want the money to take it to America. You know, they want the profits themselves. They're not interested in Arsenal fans or United fans. Yeah, that's what you can see.
Okay, coming to you, LSC, being objective, no sentiments aside, why are we stereotyping Americans? And believe me, to be honest, I do not want any of the groups that Americans are involved in to buy club. If they buy it, I will support them, except if it is the Ricketts. Let me ask you this question. We have American owners in the Premier League, and they've done well. Liverpool, an example, and at Manchester United, they spent over $1 billion. It's just that, what's his name again? I think Staff tried to remember his name. That was leading the board then. Ed somebody. I think Ed is one. Ed Woodward. He spent recklessly and wasn't strategic in their spending. So, if you look at the whole American owners in the Premier League, it wasn't like they're not bad owners. It's just that those in charge of spending the money have to spend. That is, they haven't spent strategically. You go in there, let's see, tell me American owners in the Premier League, are they bad? Really? Being objective, sentiment aside.
Yeah, all right.
No, I'm asking, I know you've answered them. I'm asking LSG.
Oh, LSG, all right.
Have we lost them?
It looks like we lost everyone.
Yeah, I think we've lost LSG. But the fact is, I think Stav already alluded to that. American owners in the Premier League haven't really done bad. I think those are the hem of things for them. Yes.
The only thing is, they're more interested in making profit than running.
How do we know that? Let's be honest. How do we know that?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems that way. It looks like, it looks like it. While the Arsenal fans always, protested against them.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
They stop now because for some reason they're doing a little bit better. But once they start going downwards, they're going to start again, So we don't need owners like that, up and down.
Yeah, LSG, are you back?
LG is gone.
All right, let me just run through the comments again. Thank you for that great input, Iswara. I love that, and I appreciate you writing that. Iswara Lagda, Glazers take money out of United. FSG took 30 years to win a league title. The fact is this, Uchiha, they took money, but yet they spent over $1 billion plus in buying players. So it's never their fault that Manchester United is not doing well. I think even Terry from Football Terrace did talk about it. I think it was never their fault that Manchester United isn't doing well. So the fans, I think it is, you could say it is a misconception blaming the owners for Manchester United woes. It's never been the fault of the owners. LSC, are you back?
No, but I am.
Okay, Stav is back. Okay, I'll come back to you, Stav. And Iswara says FSG just bought the club. Glazers took money short, but they also spend every season. Thank you very much. This is us, Ludishenko, appreciating everybody. Yes, we appreciate you too, and we will continue to pray for you, so to speak. Glenn says, just look at PSG. What did they win besides a few Uber Eats titles? That's hilarious. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to come to you again, LSC. Sorry, I didn't know you were waiting there. LSC, the question is, being objective and sentiments aside, has football owners, club owners in a Premier League, have they done bad? Being truthful.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. To be very honest with you, it's not about money. Yeah. That's why, you've seen clubs like PSG, they spend a whole lot, but they still couldn't win the Champions League. And Thomas Tuchel always said this from the very beginning. And he keeps saying it's the winning culture. There's a culture at Chelsea, that encourages that. Cesc Fabregas said something when he was playing for Arsenal and even Barcelona. He didn't feel the same way like when he was playing for Chelsea. Like when he was playing for Chelsea, there was a commitment to winning. There was a commitment from top to bottom to winning. So the Liverpool example is because they have Klopp and he's built that culture in them as well. So I don't know whether overall Liverpool have a structure. So what I'm suggesting is this: any new owner that comes to Chelsea, they should leave the culture, the structure the way it is. They should leave it the way it is and just come in there and put in money. Just come and nourish it. Everything is already there. Don't want people getting disorganized. The only people I want out is the Bruce Buck and this other guy, because they don't have no power. There's no way, I've seen them, actually fighting for Chelsea. We are the clubs that get fines all the time. Even when we are, we are the one being offended. We are the one being, being, violated, They will still get fined every single time, Jose Mourinho said this. We still get fined every single time. So what's the power of the board? I don't see any political, I don't see them having political power. I don't see them having media power, So that's why we get raided on. Let me ask this, yeah. We saw the match between Man United and Atletico Madrid. We saw how Diego Simeone left the stadium. We saw how he left there with what? He was running away from bottles. Man United fans throwing bottles at him. Yeah? Let's be honest. If that was Chelsea, what do you think will happen? He will still be in the news till now.
They would have banned us from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, that's what would have happened. But they're not against United. They're only against us. That's the problem.
Yeah. So we don't have the board powerful enough to, to fight. That was why I was even looking at this Sebastian Coe and all of that. Okay, they have some political power. Let's see, but they are politicians, they are slime, so I can't really trust them. Honestly, our ex-players need to come out and do more. They need to be in the media more.
But we have to give them. I mean, just go ahead. I think we have to also give them opportunities at the club also, because they are the ones that will talk with their mates who's also played with the club and say go out, put it. Unfortunately for us, we even have one of us denied the owner He practically did what Judas did to Christ himself. That's Frank Lampard, but that's no time to talk about it.
Do you know?
Go
that
ahead.
Chelsea, talking about affinity to former players and all of that? Do you know that Chelsea is the only club, that is actually paying? This was, I think, who said? I think it was Tony Cascarano or so. The only club, that still send money, and birthday cards to all their former players, whether pre-post Abramovich era, whatever, Chelsea is the only club that does that,
Wow, that's brilliant.
He was saying, this guy is rich. He said, I received a £250 gift card from Chelsea.
They do that to all their players, sex legends.
Every year. Chelsea is the only club that does. He was saying that. I was surprised that Chelsea is the only club that does that. Other players, they just, they forget about Chelsea and all of that, So we need ex-players to come out and support us in the media. In the media. That's all we're asking for.
And do even more.
We need more people Hasselbank.
Can you imagine?
Can
you imagine? Of this nonsense that's going on, the situation we are in right now. Imagine the most vocal player of all people isn't a Chelsea fan. Rio Ferdinand, yes. Rio Ferdinand is the most vocal. He's been the most vocal against this whole thing that's happening to us. And respect to John Terry, he was vocal too. But Rio Ferdinand, when he's been the most vocal so far, he came out to say this is nothing but an attack on Chelsea Football Club. Our owner legend denied the owner. That's fine. You could argue because he has to stay neutral because he's a coach at another club. But at least say something about what the club is going through. He did not. That is really concerning to me. That of all this thing we're going through, no Chelsea legend has been as vocal as Rio Ferdinand, who is a Manchester United legend. And then Patrick Vieira, the coach, the Crystal Palace coach, he openly said what the man has done for football overall and for the Premier League. And Frank Lampard denied having. He almost said he hasn't met the man. And that's the way I see it. That's the only thing he didn't say.
Yeah, he's scared. He was scared to get the wrong side of the government.
I really don't want to get peace out of the whole situation because it annoys me. It broke my heart, and we talked about it in this show already. This comment on the screen from Mikhail says the challenge will be for non-footballing owners. We have about 14 minutes to round off. The challenge will be for non-footballing owners coming in and needs 5 to 10 years to understand the business and the game itself. Setting CFC back in process, I think that's concerning to me. But that brings to mind LSG suggesting that whoever comes in must leave the structure as it is and just build on it. Over to you, Stav. What do you think about this comment from Mikhail?
I think that I'll be contacting him via Twitter later on for continuously putting me under pressure. But that's jokingly. Right, listen. Anybody who comes in, buys a club, if they've got half a brain, right, they'll keep Marina on. Not so sure about Bruce Puck, but they'll keep Marina on, right, if she wants to stay. Right, I would make her the chairman, right, or Nick Candy if he wins it, and I would make Marina chief executive officer, CEO, which is what Kenyon had, right? Nick Candy's bid is most likely to accept John Terry as well. Okay, so then you've got Nick Candy, John Terry, and you've got I forgot her name again now. I said it earlier on. The former women's player, Rafferty, right? So you've got 3 people there who are actually Chelsea fans and have actually had involvement in the club. You keep Marina on, right? You make Pericek director of
Emma
football.
Hayes stuff.
Yeah. Well, Emma Hayes is there. She's still the manager, isn't she? No, it's Emma Hayes
She's still there.
is the manager of the women's team. Claire Rafferty
Yeah, she's there.
is the one. Hey, she's still there, isn't she? Claire
Yeah, of
Rafferty's
course
the
she
one
is.
who's involved with JT. Like, you know, nobody's going to sack Emma Hayes. No one's going to sack her, right?
No.
So you've got Emma Hayes there as well, right? You've got Emma Hayes there, right? So you keep Dave Bernard as the secretary because he's done a good job under Roman, right? And you leave the general management to Claude McAlealy, right? And anybody who's involved in the academy, like Gareth Hall, John Harley, all these ex-players, right? Let them carry on their job, right? So the transition is smooth. There's no changes within the club down on the ground level, right? If you bring JT in, give a better check of the big job of director of football. Keep Marina, right? And obviously you would have one of the, is it Hannah or something? Hannah, yeah, right. Have her on the board. Does she live locally? My friend there said that he's seen her or something. That she has a business in the UK, so she goes on the board. All Romans people will disappear. That's a given. They won't stay on the board anyway, right? But keeping Marina is imperative. Keeping Petacek is imperative. Adding JT and Claire Rafferty, right? For me now, the more and more I think about it, the more I want the Koreans and Nick Candy, because I'm thinking like whole committee, the board, the structure on the ground with the women's team, the academy, all that has to stay the same. The first team has to stay the same, right? We're talking about a change in the boardroom, right? And how the club's going to be run. But with Marina there, right, steadying the ship until people get used to it, even if she only stays 1 or 2 seasons, right? That's imperative. Okay, so the more and more I think about it, I'd be leaning to Nick Candy and the Koreans and JT.
And remember, I still have a question for you for Nick Candy, so I'll come back to you. Thank you very much again. Uchiha says if the structure doesn't work, the owners need to take charge and change the structure. If there's love for the game, they will make necessary change. But if they don't care, they will not. Here's the thing: is the structure perfect? I don't think so. Nothing is perfect in this world. Are there rooms for improvement? Possibly. And again, most especially, one thing I will always mention that we must change to ensure that we have a long period of time where we dominate the Premier League, where we dominate the Champions League, and not have just patches of success here and there. I think what I've talked about before is us keeping successful managers. I'm not arguing that we should keep managers when they suck. When managers don't seem like they're working, we don't have to, give time to managers. We can see, okay, there's no room for improvement here or for change. And also, we also have to do something about player power. I think that still remains to a certain measure. So there are things that we have to change in terms of culture and structure because nothing is perfect yet. So great comment there. And just Viola says, let's like the stream, people. Yes, we have to. How many likes do we have now? I'm not sure. I think we have 58 likes. We have just a few minutes to round up. Hopefully we get it to 100 likes before then. Now, thank you for the Queen for saying that buying Chelsea is not like buying business in a house and food or just clothing. That's a good one from Lucilla. Lucilla, thank you for making that comment. And Mikhail says 100% first thing I am looking to hear from a new owner must be about not shaking up the winning machine. Yep, shaking up means changing everything altogether. There must always be room for improvement. And because, we're being used to Roman, his methods have brought us success. So, and change is difficult. I think there are things that the only owners will change that will surprise us all. One thing, obviously, I think they must change is I don't think we'll be spending recklessly again sometimes. I think we'll be spending more wisely, more strategically. we have a lot of what we call deadwood at the club right now because we've been reckless in our spending to some measure. But yeah, there are room for improvement. But I agree with that structure. You're saying that while Liverpool is in the title race, Arsenal is fighting for top four, having a stable squad, and Man United is still one of the best teams in the world, with probably one of the best. So yeah, great argument there. That's you. TC said Todd Boehly is the man. That's you. Again, it's your opinion. You are allowed to express that. And please, if you're here, if you haven't liked the stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If they come in with big change, they will have, big change causes a problem because you're starting afresh. Change will be made. We should know that definitely, but not a wholesome change. We don't want that. Korean Candy plus JT's group. Again, you got this, yes. And now, after the deadline, how long the selection process will take before the new owner is announced? I think, Stav, I know you've answered this before. Can you one more time, please talk about it? And after this comment here, after reading this comment from Iswara, I'll say what I wanted to say about Nick Candy.
All right. It's we're not going to know who the final 3 or 4 are before Monday or Tuesday, because it's about communicating with each other, isn't it? Rain communicating with Marina communicating with Roman, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, they can do it by video conferencing, but they're gonna double check once they whittle it down to 3 or 4. They're gonna double check everything. So I would imagine by the end of next week they'll decide who it's going to be. They'll inform the government. Then it's the government. Right, they're not involved. They've said they're not interested in who it's going to be. They don't have any preference, right? And it's up to the Premier League to decide if they're suitable. So basically, they have to be told, and they have to be told where the money's going, right? So if they want to keep things simple, just pay it into the foundation, the charitable foundation with Emma Hayes, Seb Coe, all that lot, right? And Bruce Buck can step away from that. You tell the government where the money's going. They want to see where it's going. And then once they give the okay, right, they can get on with concluding the deal. It'll take another 10 days to 2 weeks for the EPL to do their checks. You're talking April, sometime in April.
April before it's definite who the new owner will be.
Yeah, I would. Well, it could be the end of April, but that means that I'd rather it was before, so we can sell tickets for the semi-final.
All right, thank you very much.
But the government can ease the license once they know that it's going through. It doesn't mean that it will stay till May the 31st.
Okay.
Because they want it to be an attraction to the buyer. They don't want the buyer to think, why am I buying this? And they're going to be losing money before I've even bought it.
All right. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to move to this two last comments, and I'll ask the question. All in all, I don't mind if the owners are Americans or Saudis or Koreans or English or Malaysians. Whoever is the new owners, I hope we can open a new chapter and a good chapter moving forward. Sweet comment there, Iswara, and I appreciate you being around. Roman is one of a kind like no other, but we have to move forward. That's the truth. We can dwell on it forever, and hopefully we'll agree to build a statue for him in front of the stadium, because he will forever be remembered. He's etched the name in the book of record in terms of football globally. Yes. That says if Mansa Musa reincarnates and buys Chelsea, it will be awesome. That's hilarious, but I love it. And what happens if SMG backchecks goes into May or June in relation to club license? LSG, can you answer this quickly?
Yeah. So I think the license is going to end by May ending. So I don't think it's going to take them a longer time, because Newcastle already paved the way for the Saudis. You know, they already paved the way. I think they spent about a year in court. You know, and they won. So I don't think the background is, except the Premier League want to be vindictive and, you know, extend the process, you know, longer than it should be. You know.
All right. Oh, well, thank you very much. So we have just 2 minutes to round up. So the question, where I think it was Mikhail that made me talk about that, come up with that question with his concern the other day. Now Nick Candy, overall, his net worth is around is it 980, but it's below $1 billion. So it doesn't look like in his own group he's going to be a major owner. So which means he has at least say in whatever happens. So, starting with LSC, what do you think?
Yeah, I understand it's going to be minority, but it's going to be the face and, you know, shouting
So he's
about.
just the poster boy for them.
Yeah, using it to influence his other business and stuff like that, you know. Well, if the sale is going to be quick, because I want it, you know, by this month ending. I want everything end by this month end, you know. So I don't want it to get into April, because that's when I think April 5th is our quarterfinal, you know,
I
at
think
National
so.
Bridge. Yeah. So I want it to, you know, go on quickly, you know, during the international breaks. I want it to the sale to go on. So I don't mind the South Korean, because I don't see how they can affect us later when it comes to politics. I don't see it coming, because they are the victim when it comes to that part of the world, you know. So, you know, and there is no controversy. So if the the SMG group, you know, if the background check is going to be a problem, then we might as well just go for the Korean. You know, something else I want to say, you know, regarding the game today. You know, I'm just praying that, you know, Kepa doesn't start the game, because that place is going to be a very hostile environment. You know, it's going to be filled with, you know, Borough fans. I think we only have about 600 fans in there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure the number.
No, I think it's about 600 and something.
670 says staff.
600, Only
you
600
know,
have tickets.
only, have tickets. So it's going to be here for our boys, you know. So, you know, I'm just praying that, you know, Tuchel, you know, come out with the best team, you know, with Mendy in goal. If Mendy is in there, you know, no problem. So he shouldn't be stubborn and use Kepa. You know, that's all I have to say, because we can't afford to lose. If we lose this game, the Borough fans and the club, they're already doing PRO stunts and all of that. They want to donate the money to Ukraine, because they know we can't donate the money, anything to Ukraine. So they are using it as a publicity stunt to, you know, shit on us, you know. So that's why we have to beat them today, mercilessly.
You know? And again, I must say that's a great comment. I think Stav is on with Stav also for personal reasons wants Chelsea to win
I grew up in
today.
Middlesbrough. It's not personal. I grew up in Middlesbrough. Most of my friends are Middlesbrough supporters. Not a personal thing.
But we'll win. I believe in Stav. We'll win. So, Stav, your comment on what I said about Nick Candy not being a majority owner in his group, and
can
so
I that much. You've asked the question. I'll answer it. Right, Nick Candy isn't going to be a majority shareholder in this group, right? The guy from the Saudi media group is only worth about 600,000 more than him, right? So he's not going to be a majority shareholder, is he?
Yeah.
Right? So let's just forget about this, whether somebody's a majority shareholder. Finance, the Saudis, right, who are backing him, right, the guy whose name we can't say, they're going to trust him to run the club, right? The Koreans who are going to back Nick Candy are going to trust Nick Candy to run the club. Nick Candy has contacts and experience with building developments, which is going to help with the stadium, okay? Which is why they're backing him. Everybody, let's get over this thing about how much they're contributing and how much share they're going to have, right? If they're trusting him enough to get involved, they trust him enough to run the club as well. And like I said, he's more likely to take JT and Claire Rafferty on. And also, I would point out that one of our best female players is a South Korean international. Okay, so there's that aspect as well. They've already got an in there that they've already got someone to centre the support from the fan base over in Korea and that. Right?
And all those factors come into play, yeah. So thank you very much, Stan, for taking some time to say that. I think we can say, do you have anything to add about what I said about Nick Candy?
We talk about we talk all about Nick Candy. You know, we don't really know. You know, so if it's like that and they let him run the club, it's different. But will they let him run the club completely? We don't know. That's the thing.
Well, they're not going to come from.
We don't know.
They're not going to come from South Korea every week, are they? Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It could happen, Sav. It could happen, but we don't know.
I've got one other thing I want to say.
I don't know.
I've got one other thing to say. Right? I think the comments regarding Kepa are a bit harsh. Right?
Yeah, very harsh.
I think that's harsh, and he's proven it. People are still gauging their responses or their opinions to Kepa based on 2 years ago when that retrobate who didn't want to acknowledge Roman destroyed him, right? So I think it's been a bit harsh. He has a tribute, he has a tribute that Mendy doesn't have. And I've been getting a bit shaky every time I see the ball at Mendy's feet. Right, I get a bit shaky.
Yeah,
right?
and I think just to come in there
Kepa
and we can.
Very good. Kepa,
I think
been good for us lately. So
I think we have to. We have to. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, just one final say. Yeah, we mustn't forget we got the big game soon. Middlesbrough coming up for the 5:15 kickoff. We haven't mentioned a word about the game.
No, because we have a pre-game show here.
We have a
pre-game show 1 hour before the game.
Are you doing that? Are you? All right.
Yeah.
So it's a big game.
Get your backside back on later on, and we'll discuss them.
Yeah,
All I want to say about Middlesbrough is right.
Yeah.
The hostile atmosphere.
Can we talk that during the pre-game show?
No. I'm going to say this now. If we score first, forget the hostile atmosphere. They're a bunch of ponces.
They're a bunch of ponces. We score first. But we have to be aware.
So we must make sure they don't score first.
Yes. Well, they can score first. Losing's not an option.
All right.
I'm not having it.
Okay. I don't want losing here too. So with that, I think we can say it's been a great show so far. And this is the first time for LSD on the show. And man, I love your input, my brother. And we have the Blue Morning Show. It's a daily show. Always 11 a.m. UK, and we have pre-game shows that usually starts 1 hour before kickoff and ends 10 minutes before kickoff. And I appreciate you finding time to join us here. It's been overall a brilliant show, and thank you very much again. Thank you, LSG. Thank you for finding time to join us here.
No worries, man.
And let me see if there's any important topic here that's an update. Todd Boehly is described by The Athletic that if he takes over, the focus will be on data-sensible investment, a desire to win, but not to blow the budget. That's for sure. We know that's going to change. Boehly is understood to be opting for a more modest upgrade of Stamford Bridge, which would cost $1 billion. Okay, and then Uchida says it looks like he doesn't want to spend much. Yep, it's in clear language there. You can see it. Come On You Blues by Michael, and a great stream, Coachila. Thank you very much, Josuela, the Queen of the House. Thank you for always being there. I want to highlight this one here from what's this coming here? I really like it. Something, yes, he says a Roman is one of kind on with like no other, but we have to move on. So thank you to LSG. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to staff for always being available. Staff is a constant now here. Thank you for Nick Blue, who has also become a constant. And LSG, I look forward to having you on the panel whenever you have time. Again, the Blue Morning Show is a daily show, and we have Also, pre-game shows that starts 1
Don't
hour
forget
before
Pierre.
kickoff.
Don't
Yes.
forget Pierre.
Yeah.
Not
Sorry, what did you say?
Kakeri. Not Kakeri. Pierre.
Okay. I didn't say his name now. You're trying to put me into trouble.
No, I'm
Okay,
giving you
Pierre.
one last chance to get it right.
Okay, Pierre. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, Pierre.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate everybody in the chat with the great
You're
comments.
supposed to
And
say Pierre.
if I did not say your name, apologies. I'm only human, and there are too many names to say there. With that, we've come to the end of the show, and I say God bless us all. Hope to see you guys in the pregame show and also for the Blue Morning Show tomorrow. See you guys all. Bye.
Take care, man.